Chapter 738. That's right. The descendants of the Bakra orcs may have already settled down in another continent and formed a prosperous and powerful existence comparable to the Boundless Continent. If you were the descendants of the Bakra orcs and were exiled and slaughtered many years ago, what would you do? The second elder lamented. One day, they would kill their way back to the Boundless Continent and avenge the fallen leaders of the 8 great beast clans. The students already had an answer in their hearts. At the same time, a wave of fear surged in their hearts. The era of the 8 great masters had passed many years ago. On the continent, there were no more peak existences comparable to the 8 great masters. Even the 8 barren artifacts used by the 8 great masters were nowhere to be found. Under such circumstances, if the descendants of the Bakra orcs were to make a comeback, the Boundless Continent would be in imminent danger. Knowing this, the descendants of the 8 great masters, including the 5 great countries and other forces, have been trying their best to find clues about the descendants of the Bakra orcs for thousands of years. They had opened part of the seal of the Duchian blood beast world in hopes of finding the secret passage opened by the 8 great masters through the blood beast world and finally exterminating the Bakra orcs. However, after so many years of searching, there were no results. The 5 great countries and other forces issued an order to report immediately if there were any clues about the descendants of the Bakra orcs. If there were any suspected descendants of the Bakra orcs, they were to be killed without mercy. The second elder had no choice but to tell the students about the past that had been covered in dust for many years. He suspected that the leak of the sky magic array in Skywing City had directly led to the return of the descendants of the Bakra orcs to the continent. Even the beast clans were looking for the secret passage that had been left behind. Second elder, you mean that the 5-color cloud this time is very likely related to the descendants of the Bakra orcs? Although Lon knew a little, this was the first time he had heard of the existence of a secret passage in the Duchian blood beast world. That's just a guess. Until now, they have not been able to figure out what the 5-colored cloud is. What happened in the central region of the blood beast world? The only thing he could do now was to enter the central region and investigate. These are only my and 4th elder's speculations. The rest is for you to discover. Hearing the second elder's words, the hearts of the students sank. Especially Yun Sheng. Her heart was in turmoil. She finally understood why the Zhao state wanted to kill Hu Jiuxing after finding out Hu Jiuxing's identity. Why would the Emperor of Zhou state cooperate with the Zhao state to encircle and suppress Hu Jiuxing? The ancestor of the Zhou state emperor was also one of the 8 great masters. He must have left a secret handwritten letter or a posthumous edict for his descendants. Half of the blood of the 8 Wastelands beast clan flowed in her body. If this matter was leaked out, where would she go? Yinsheng thought to herself. Second elder considered the fact that there were more than 40 new students who were not qualified to enter the middle region of the Duchian blood beast world. But the rescue mission required a large number of people. The new students had to participate. Second elder and 4th elder also made the corresponding arrangements. Second elder and a dozen students stayed at the relay station. 4th elder led the remaining 30 students into the middle region of the blood beast world. Other than the dazzling light teacher and his students, the rest had to stay at the relay station. All the students had to join a battle team to enter the middle region of the blood beast world. 4th elder led 10 people each. He chose 2 students to be temporary team leaders to lead their respective battle teams. Lu Tontian, Lon, you are the strongest among all the students. You have the most experience in entering and exiting the blood beast world. I will leave the new students to you. Lu Tontian and Lon also chose their own students. Chun Lianer, Feng Tian, and Lu Tontian were in one team. Yun Sheng, Qi, and Lon were in another. The 3 teams walked side by side and headed towards the middle region of the blood beast world. Along the way, Yun Sheng noticed that the outer region of the blood beast world had indeed changed. Many warriors and magicians had retreated towards the outer region of the blood beast world. Occasionally, there would be news of the 5-colored clouds swallowing people. At the bottom of the Crimson Moon River, the red blood fog ahead was even thicker. Looking ahead, everything 10 meters away was a blur. Before they left, Second Elder had instructed that all the students had to take an antidote before entering the middle region of the Blood Beast world. The old students took one, the new students took two, but regardless of whether they were old or new, they had to leave the Blood Beast world within 24 hours after taking the antidote. Also, under no circumstances were they allowed to enter the core region of the Blood Beast world. Otherwise, if the thick blood aura around the blood seal invaded the human body, it could cause a mental breakdown and cause them to go berserk. Yes, sir, everyone said in unison. Just as the three teams were about to enter the middle region of the Blood Beast world, Lu Tongtian suddenly stopped Lan and her team. Lan, you and I each have a team. Why don't we have a spar? Lu Tongtian said arrogantly as he glanced at Lan. Lan was the number 2 on the magic ranking of the continent's elite camp. In the past 2 years, she had been the most direct threat to Lu Tongtian. Moreover, she was also the direct disciple of the Great Elder. The camp had always been discussing that Lan would very likely inherit the position of Great Elder in the future. This made Lu Tongtian, who wanted to stand out and make a name for himself on the continent, very wary. Lan was also a proud person. Since Lu Tongtian had issued a challenge, she naturally would not back down. In terms of composition, Lu Tongtian's team had Chun Lianer, who was in the top 100 on the magic ranking, and 3 or 4 other seniors. Among the new students, there was also Feng Tian, who was previously the number 1 on the potential ranking. As for Lan's group, due to her personality, she did not like Chun Lianer and Feng Tian Yi, so she chose Yun Sheng and Qi, who were relatively low-key. The remaining seniors were all rookies with average strength. It looked like Lu Tongtian's team was slightly stronger, but Lan was not discouraged. Okay, we'll use this 24-hour as the limit. Within 24 hours, the team that kills the most blood cloud beasts or rescues the most students will be the winner. As for the wager, it's up to you. Lan immediately discussed with her team members and decided to accept the challenge. Then I won't stand on ceremony. My wager is that the team that loses this time will automatically give up on the next mission to find the divine artifact. Lu Tongtian had already expected Lan to fall for it. Lan did not expect Lu Tongtian to make such a request. The day to find the 8 Barren Divine artifact was coming. The Great Elder had said long ago that Lan must participate this time. Lu Tongtian must have heard some rumors, which was why he deliberately said this. There had always been rumors that the 8 Barren Divine artifact unearthed this time was very likely to be the fashion's bracelet left behind by the first Fazen. The Great Elder's original intention was to let Lan use this opportunity to obtain the fashion's bracelet and inherit the Great Elder's mantle. Chapter 739. The Fourth Elder did not interfere with the competition. For these elite students, the competition between the two teams was more beneficial for their growth. Moreover, the Fourth Elder also wanted to see who was more suitable to be the leader of the next divine artifact mission of the continent's magic elite camp through this competition. Azura hesitated. The trip to the divine weapon was very important to her. If she agreed rashly and her teacher found out, he would be furious. Seeing that Azura was still hesitating, Chun Lianer took the opportunity to add fuel to the fire. She said sweetly, "It seems that Sister Lan thinks that just the qualification for the divine weapon mission is not enough. Why don't I add 1,000,000 gold coins in my name? The winning team will get an extra 1,000,000 gold coins." The students who entered the Duqian Blood Beast World Trial, especially Lu and Azura, had even entered the middle area of the Blood Beast world. The soul stones from killing a general-level magical beast were worth hundreds of thousands. 1,000,000 gold coins, in the eyes of Lu Tongtian and senior sister Lan, was really nothing. Chun Lianer only dared to strut around here because of Lu Tongtian's reputation. If Azura did not agree now, it would seem that she was stingy and afraid of Lu Tongtian and the others. Since we're going to compete, how can 1,000,000 gold coins be worthy of Sister Lan? Why don't I add a bet? 100,000,000 gold coins. The loser will hand over 100,000,000 gold coins and the right to participate in the divine weapon mission. The clear female voice was very sudden. The expressions of the 20 people in the two teams changed. 100 million gold coins was a shocking amount. Even fourth elder couldn't help but tremble. Looking at the person who spoke, it was Yun Sheng, who had just set a new record in the newcomer trial. Student, a competition between students is only for learning from each other. 100 million gold coins is a bit too much. Fourth elder quickly interfered. Or is it that senior brother Liu, #1 on the magic power rankings, together with a dozen other senior brothers and sisters, can't even take out a measly 100 million gold coins and are afraid to accept the challenge? Yinsheng looked at Liu Tongtian and Chun Lianer provocatively. After being provoked by Yun Sheng like this, Liu Tongtian's face flushed red. He snorted, "This junior sister sure talks big. But before junior sister invites a battle, shouldn't you consider clearly whether you can take out so many gold coins? Millions of gold coins might not be a big deal, but hundreds of millions of gold coins was equivalent to a country's annual expenditure." Liu Tongtian did not believe that a commoner girl who had been in the camp for less than 3 years would be able to fork out so much money. Limitless gold card, usable throughout the continent. There are 100 million gold coins inside. Fourth elder, please help me appraise it. Yun Sheng handed the 100 million gold card to the fourth elder. The fourth elder subconsciously took the gold card. After examining it, he confirmed that it was indeed a gold card issued by the Limitless Chamber of Commerce. Liu Tongtian's face twitched. Seeing this, Chun Lianer said softly, "Senior brother Liu, accept her offer. Why don't you accept the gold coins that are delivered to your doorstep?" Lan was also surprised by Yun Sheng's generosity. But after being provoked by Yun Sheng, the hesitation in Lan's heart disappeared. If they lost, the gold coins would belong to Yun Sheng. If they won, the glory would belong to Lan and her entire team. All right, then I implore fourth elder to bear witness. After 24 hours, let's see who rescues the trapped students first and who rescues the most students. Liu Tongtian and Lan clapped their hands to make an oath. The fourth elder could only let them bear witness. See you in 24 hours. Lan swallowed the antidote in one gulp. Behind her, the students did the same. The two teams, 20 or so people, charged into the middle of the Duqian Blood Beast world. At this time, in the middle of the Duqian Blood Beast world, beside a vast red river, a multicolored cloud landed on the ground. When the cloud landed, the multicolored light around it gradually dissipated, revealing its true appearance. This multicolored cloud, which was mysterious to the outside world, was actually an empty ship. It turned out that this multicolored cloud, which had caused panic in the Duqian Blood Beast world, was actually an empty ship with powerful magic. On the multicolored empty ship hung a flag, embroidered with a snow-white fox. The fox had 5 tails behind it, looking very strange. After the empty ship landed, a young girl came down from it. The girl was dressed in pink. She had almond-shaped eyes and peachy cheeks. She had black hair and golden eyes. She wasn't old, but she had developed very well. Her waist was thin and her chest was big. Her every movement exuded an irresistible charm. After she came down, a group of young men and women followed her down. Those who came down from the ship were all young men and women in their 20s. All of them were graceful and had a charm that could captivate one's soul. At the place where the multicolored empty ship landed, there were already a few young men and women with different styles waiting. At first glance, these people were obviously not from the Boundless Land. But from their appearance, these people were definitely not demonic beasts. They looked no different from ordinary humans. No one would have thought that these young men and women who looked no different from humans were the descendants of the Bakro orcs, who had been trying to exterminate the Boundless Land for thousands of years. Although the almond-eyed girl was not old, she had a natural charm. She walked over leisurely, her slender waist swaying. Her beautiful eyes looked around with some anticipation. "Humph, Hu Ling Long, you're looking for a cuckold. Looking for a man as soon as you come. Indeed, the women of the Celestial Fox people can't live without men." Seeing the almond-eyed girl's coquettish appearance, a girl mocked. The girl's appearance was much worse than Hu Ling Long's. She was unusually tall, with a narrow face and high cheekbones. She had a head of messy yellow hair. Although she was a girl, she was taller than a man. She looked like a small giant. The worst thing was that the girl's nose was very strange. It was big and flat, as if it had been run over by a wheel. She obviously hated Hu Linglong, so she spoke with sarcasm. Rita, the women of the celestial fox people are naturally beautiful. Unlike some women, no one wants them even if they throw themselves at you. Hu Linglong covered her mouth and giggled. When a woman from the Beaming clan called Rita heard this, she frowned and a mocking smile appeared on her face. Hu Linglong, are you tired of living? You dare to offend the Beaming clan. The descendant of the Beaming clan, Rita, shouted. Her body moved faster than lightning. She charged straight towards the almond-eyed girl with her fighting spirit. Her collision tore a huge hole in the air. It was as if she had a force of 1,000 pounds. The almond-eyed girl looked delicate. If she was hit like this, her blood would definitely splatter. Unexpectedly, the almond-eyed girl giggled. When Rita knocked her away, her delicate figure disappeared. Behind Rita, Hu Linglong was standing gracefully with a complacent face. Hu Linglong, you actually learned the super magic of the celestial fox people, Wind Shadow Spell. Rita did not expect that her attack would not succeed. Chapter 740. Hee, Rita, don't underestimate the celestial fox tribe, just because the Beaming tribe is a middle-tier beast tribe. Once upon a time, our celestial fox tribe was a top-tier dire beast that was comparable to the Black Chilin tribe. The secret passageway that saved the entire beast tribe was opened by the Black Chilin king and the nine-tailed celestial fox ancestor. Hu Linglong revealed a fascinated expression when she mentioned the glory of the celestial fox tribe. Bah, you still have the nerve to mention those old and rotten things. If you have the ability, you can mention them in front of He Linlin. See if she won't break your spine, Rita spat. When Hu Linglong heard He Linlin's name, she was both fearful and angry. However, she did not dare to flare up. After all, what Rita said was true. These young people of unknown origins were the descendants of the Bakra orcs that the Second Elder had guessed earlier. However, the Second Elder did not expect that these young people were all the direct descendants of the Bakra orcs. They were the people who were most likely to inherit the 8 wilderness beast gods' legacy in the future. It was definitely not a coincidence that they were gathered here. Back then, the 2 most powerful leaders of the Bakra orcs tribes, the Black Chilin king and the nine-tailed celestial fox ancestor, opened up a secret passageway at the last moment and transferred the last bit of the Bakra orcs bloodline. However, what everyone, including the 8 great powerhouses, did not know was that the leaders of the Bakra orcs not only opened up a secret passageway at the last moment, they also passed down the beast god's legacy that contained the strongest power of the Bakra orcs to their descendants. The beast god's legacy also contained a portion of the beast god's power. It was also because of the lack of this portion of the beast god's power that the leaders of the Bakra orcs tribes were defeated by the 8 great powerhouses of the human race at the last moment. However, in order to allow the descendants of the Bakra orcs to return to the mainland while they were still alive, the 8 leaders could only give up their lives. The descendants of the Bakra orcs were sent to a desolate and remote mainland. After hundreds of years of development, the descendants of the Bakra orcs conquered the natives of the mainland and established their own political power. Among them, the most outstanding dire beast bloodline would be chosen as the Bakra orcs' successor. Most of the successors of the Bakra orcs knew each other since young. They were born and had been baptized at the beast god altar. However, the status of each successor was different. The reason for this was related to the development of the 8 Wastelands beast clans over the years. After the Bakra Oran tribe had Bakra orcs, the tribe, after a few changes, the once prosperous tribe had declined. Today's Bakra orcs were divided into upper, middle, and lower classes according to the tribal competition held every 10 years. The top 3 in the competition were upper-class orcs, the 4th to 6th were middle-class orcs, and the last 2 were lower-class orcs. Over the years, the 3 upper-class orc tribes were the Black Chilin tribe, the Ninwan tribe, and the D tribe. As for the behemoth tribe that Rita was in, it was a middle-class orc. The celestial fox tribe that the fox charming girl, Hu Ling Long, was in had declined for many years and was a lower-class orc. The reason was because the celestial fox tribe had not had a saint or saintess who could successfully awaken a divine beast for 3 generations. They had been defeated in every tribal competition. This was why the once glorious upper-class Bakr orcs had fallen to a lower-class orc. To make matters worse, their current saintess was rumored to be a good-for-nothing who did not even know basic magic. She had not left the tribe since she was young and rarely appeared in front of outsiders. This time, the inheritors of the Bakra orcs' divine beasts had entered the Duqian blood beast world. Only the celestial fox people did not send the direct bloodline celestial fox saintess. This fox girl who looked very coquettish was actually the cousin of the current saintess. She was beautiful, but she only knew some charming tricks and illusions. Although Hu Linglong was young, she knew how to charm people since she was young. She saw the prosperity of the Nine Yuan tribe and thought that one day she could rely on her beauty to make Green, the successor of the Blue Yuan tribe, favor her. Green was the successor of the mythical beast recognized by the current patriarch of the Qingyuan tribe. As long as he took a fancy to them, the Heavenly Fox tribe and Hu Linglong's tribe would receive great benefits. However, she liked Green a lot and always thought of ways to seduce him. Green did not feel anything, and this made Hu Linglong very angry. Rita from the Behemoth tribe always liked to use the matter of being green to mock Hu Linglong. Whenever the two of them met, they would have a huge fight. In the past, Rita always had the upper hand. However, recently, Hu Linglong had used some unknown method to learn the super wind magic, the wind shadow spell. She was actually able to dodge Rita's brute force attacks. This made Rita very unhappy. Rita, you only have some brute force. Do you really think that I am afraid of you? Hu Linglong's almond-shaped eyes looked up. The ugly behemoth girl thought that she was extraordinary just because she was the daughter of the tribe leader. These successors of the beast god had not gone through the beast god inheritance, and Hu Linglong boasted that her strength was not much different from Rita's. Whether I am afraid or not, we will know after we fight. In anger, Rita's body was overflowing with a terrifying fighting aura. Hu Linglong also started to chant. The two were about to fight. At this moment, 2 figures rushed over from afar like arrows piercing through the clouds. You are too presumptuous. Do you think that the commotion is not big enough? Z's face was cold as he stood between the two. When Rita and Hu Linglong saw Z in green, who was walking over slowly, they were delighted. Rita looked at Z, and there was a rare hint of shyness on her face. Z was the descendant of the D clan, and this clan had always produced handsome men and beautiful women since ancient times. In Rita's eyes, Z's sword-like eyebrows were raised, and his slender eyes were shining with a cold and arrogant light. His body was thin, and the strong lines of his chin made him look very cold, but at the same time, he exuded a strong, masculine aura. Hu Linglong looked at Green. Green was the direct successor of the superior beast Green Phoenix tribe. He was also the only genius among the Bakra orcs who could be compared to the genius girl of the Black Kirin tribe, Hei Linlin. Green and Z were good friends, and both of them had their own merits. In comparison, Z was like a 10,000-year-old iceberg, aloof and cold, while Green was more attractive. Although he was young, he was very handsome and had a kind of neutral beauty. Even the charming celestial fox, Hu Linglong, admitted that she could not compare to Green. Rita had a crush on Z, and Hu Linglong was obsessed with Green. It was not a secret among the successors. When the successors of the other tribes saw this scene, they were also used to it. As soon as she saw Lu, Hu Linglong immediately put away her crossbow attitude. She shyly walked to Lu's side. Where are Hei Linlin and Qinya? Green and Z only saw 4 people. They were Qi Muguan of the Bash tribe, Qian Shuecho of the Winged Rock tribe, Rita of the Behemoth tribe, and Hu Linglong of the Celestial Fox people. They did not see Hei Linlin of the Black Kirin tribe and Qinya of the Green Hellwolf tribe. There will be 2 more chapters tonight, and there will be an explosion tomorrow. I guarantee that there will be at least 10 chapters. With the support of those with the ability, if there are more monthly ticket subscriptions, there will be an explosion again. Chapter 741. Green, why do you care about that black-masked woman? She has always been a lone ranger. I don't know where she is now, Hu Linglong said, trying to curry favor with Z. Qingyao went to look for his pack of wolf pups. The aura of humans has appeared in the central area. It seems that they have discovered our whereabouts. Chi Muguan of the Bashi tribe licked his lips. His tongue was long and thin, like a snake's tongue. Stupid. It's all because of what you have done. Before we set off, Lord Divine Palace said that before the secret passage was completely opened, we should not disturb the humans. Z's face was tense. She was especially dissatisfied with Hu Linglong's earlier use of the five-colored airship and ostentatiously swaggering through the city. So what if they know? They all say that the humans have been living a leisurely life and have not thought about cultivating. I think they are right. They are all a motley crew. Just now, I caught dozens of humans effortlessly. Their strength is very average, Hu Linglong said disdainfully. If Lord Divine Palace had not said that they were forbidden from using the beast god magic in front of the humans, she would have killed all those people long ago. After she finished speaking, she waved her hand. Her tribesmen escorted dozens of magicians and warriors down the airship. These people were casually caught by Hu Linglong along the way. Among them were many students from the mainland's elite magician camp. They were all shackled with magic shackles. The warriors' fighting energy was also restricted. They were all powerless and tied together. These students looked like they were in a daze, unable to speak. Clearly, Hu Linglong had done something to their bodies. The Celestial Fox tribe was a famous Wujiao tribe among the Bakr orcs. They were proficient in all kinds of witchcraft. At a glance, it was obvious that these people's 3 souls and 6 senses had been restricted. You caught so many people? Do you really think the humans are fools? There are already a large number of human experts outside who have entered the Bloodbeast sector. Z was almost angered to death when she saw the people that Hu Linglong had brought. This stupid woman had big breasts but no brains. Did she know that they were still standing in the headquarters of the human race? As a Celestial Fox people, Hu Linglong's appearance was impeccable. However, her behavior made Z very annoyed. Moreover, the elders of the 2 clans wanted to give this woman to LV. Z really felt depressed for LV. Green simply ignored Hu Linglong and did not speak to her at all. Green and Purple were the first 2 to set off. They did not think of using an empty boat because they did not want to alarm the humans in the Duqian Bloodbeast world. But this plan was completely messed up by Hu Linglong, this flamboyant woman. On his way here, he could sense that there were at least many human experts entering the Bloodbeast sector. Ever since Lord Shingong ordered people to retrieve the formation map and found clues to the secret passage back then, the leaders of the Bakra orcs were eager to return to the boundless land as soon as possible. Although the ancestors of the Bakra orcs had sent away their descendants back then, in order to prevent the human experts from discovering the secret passage, they sealed it at the last moment. For so many years, the Bakra orcs had always wanted to use the safe secret passage to return to the mainland. This time, taking advantage of the opening of the space crack in the 8 wastelands, the leaders selected the most elite inheritors of their respective clans to explore. Their goal was to find the secret passage and even find the remains of the leaders of the 8 great beast clans. We have already caught them. If you think it's too troublesome, just kill them. Hu Linglong saw that Z was unhappy and was afraid that Green would be angry too. She was angry and wanted to kill all of them. Awu! A powerful wolf howl came from the southwest direction. Let's eat them first. Since the humans have already found out, I will have my uses. Green Tooth seems to have found the enemy. Let's wait and see. After Green said that, the others stopped talking and waited for Green Tooth of the Green Netherwolf tribe to make a move. Just as Yun Sheng and the others entered the Duqian Blood Beast world, a black shadow rushed into the depths of the Duqian Blood Beast world. That was the place where the second elder had warned all the students that even the seniors were not allowed to enter without permission. That was also where the powerful magic formation drawn by the blood of the 8 great beast clans was drawn by the 8 powerful experts back then. That area was called the Dutian Blood Seal by the outside world. Outside the Dutian Blood Seal, there were layers of beast blood and demonic aura. After thousands of years of precipitation, these demonic auras spiraled together like a giant python that could swallow the sky and the earth. It was black and thick. Even a martial sage warrior would find it hard to breathe and be unable to move forward once he got close to it. However, this black shadow did not hesitate at all. Boom! It was faster than a flying demonic beast. The giant python raised its head angrily and stopped the black shadow from moving forward. The black shadow swept past. The moment it pierced through the demonic aura, the fighting aura around her exploded, creating a sonic boom like that of a cannonball. After passing through the demonic aura, the black shadow landed on the ground. Only then did the others see the true face of the black shadow that was moving at high speed. The black shadow was a beautiful and cold girl. She had short hair and deep facial features. She was wearing a close-fitting one-piece robe that outlined her slender and powerful limbs. Her slightly tanned skin, sexy lips, untamed brows, and the dough chi emitted from her body made her as cold as a sharp dagger. This was a girl that no one could ignore. She was He Lin, the current Qilin Saintess of the Black Qilin clan. After receiving the secret order from the Beast God Divine Palace, He Lin and a group of Beast God inheritors passed through the space-time crack and came to the Dutian Blood Beast world. Her mission this time was to find the burial place of the 8 clan leaders with the other descendants of the 8 Baron clan and find that thing. When He Lin was still a child, she had a cold and arrogant personality. She did not like to move with others. Therefore, she chose to enter the Dutian Blood Seal alone this time. Firstly, she was very curious about the Blood Seal. She wanted to see what kind of terrifying existence killed the 8 clan leaders who were once considered invincible in the continent. "Come out," He Lin said as soon as she stood still. He Lin was a top-notch warrior. She was a genius who had broken through to the martial emperor realm at such a young age. She did not notice anyone following her on the way here. It was also just now that she noticed that someone had been following her all the way. The figure of a man gradually became clear. His black hair was tied casually behind his head with a silver hairband. He had an imposing appearance. An extremely handsome man with a cold and gloomy aura appeared in front of He Lin. Even He Lin, who was used to seeing all kinds of handsome men in the Beast God tribe, was stunned. The man's aura was very strange. It was like magic power, but also like fighting aura. This was a very strong man. "This is the New Year's red packet, given by cute female dummy in the group. Big Foozy said that she would not bet with Mud Cutie for a month." Chapter 742. This mysterious man's strength was unfathomable. He Lin couldn't tell how strong he was. He seemed to be about the same age as her, maybe even a little younger than her. However, his aura didn't lose out to her at all. He Lin sized him up as if he was an opponent. She didn't expect to meet such an opponent as soon as she entered the boundless world. "Human race? Bakra orcs?" He Lin used a questioning tone. The man confirmed He Lin's identity with certainty. "This isn't a place where you should be." He Lin didn't know how strong he was and didn't test him rashly. "It's also not a place where you should be." Yi Baiming curled his lips and glanced at the thick Dutian blood seal. 3 days ago, he had just finished his daily training and found his mentor, Guei Yu. "You said you want to seek stronger strength?" Guei Yu was both troubled and happy about his precious disciple. "I want to improve my physical strength." After breaking through to Martial Emperor, Yi Baiming encountered a bottleneck. This was the first time in his 18 years of life. Since young, Yi Baiming knew that his talent was different from ordinary people, whether it was in terms of magic or battle chi cultivation. Others would only be able to achieve twice the effect if they had twice the time. However, as his cultivation increased, the effect of his cultivation increased from several times to dozens of times. This was especially obvious after his eyes recovered. Although his cultivation had broken through to Martial Emperor, his physical strength couldn't compete with ordinary Martial Emperors. After all, Yi Biming was only 18 years old. The martial emperors on the mainland, such as Gui Yu and Yun Ba, had undergone long periods of training. Their physical strength was comparable to a beast king. However, Yi Biming was different. He could feel that his battle chi had surpassed his physical strength. In order to better fuse his physical body with his do chi, he had to find a way to strengthen his physical body even more. This was something he couldn't do on his own. Therefore, he came to the mainland's elite warrior camp and became Elder Gui Yu's disciple. Ghost Prison's elder didn't give an answer immediately. An 18-year-old martial emperor. There was no other person in the entire continent with such an achievement. However, that was only in the Boundless Land. As the number one person in the continent's warrior elite camp, Gui Yu's insight and foresight were comparable to the great elder of the continent's mage elite camp. After Elder Yu returned from Skywing City, he brought back news that made Elder Ghost Prison realize that a hidden danger was about to erupt. Yi Biming was fully deserving of being the leader of the elite camp of the continent. Elder Ghost Prison had already realized this point. He knew that this student of his was not simple. He seemed undisciplined, but he had his own terrifying force behind him. Therefore, this time, Elder Ghost Prison did not try to persuade Yi Biming. He told Yi Biming that there was a way to improve his cultivation. You have to go to the Duqian Blood Beast world to find blood crystals. Ghost Prison Elder said as he took off his shirt. As the number one expert in the continent's warrior elite camp, Elder Ghost Prison had experienced hundreds of battles. Although he was over 70 years old, his body was like a vigorous and powerful tree. He didn't weaken because of age. Instead, he glowed with an even stronger vitality. His muscles bulged, his tendons and veins crisscrossed like rivers, densely covering his skin. Circulate your battle chi and give me a punch, Elder Ghost Prison ordered Yi Biming. Yi Biming didn't hesitate and raised his fist. The moment the punch was thrown, there was a crackling sound, and the air was instantly shattered. Pung dash! As a martial emperor, Yi Biming's punch had the force of at least 10,000 pounds. Even a huge rock could be turned into fine powder in an instant. Elder Ghost Prison's face was flushed red, and his blood energy was roiling. However, when that fist landed on his body, it only turned red. After that, Elder Ghost Prison's complexion returned to normal, and he did not look any different. Yi Biming frowned slightly. His punch didn't hurt Elder Ghost Prison at all. You must be very curious as to how my body can reach such a level of strength. That's because I have absorbed 3 blood crystals. Elder Ghost Prison's expression was solemn. What he was about to tell Yi Biming was a secret that only the top experts in the continent knew. Only those who were already at the top would know this secret. Elder Ghost Prison originally planned to tell Yi Biming after he inherited his mantle. However, he didn't expect this kid to break through to Martial Emperor so quickly. He could only tell him earlier. You should know that in the Duqian Blood Beast world, there is an area that only high-level instructors and elders can enter. Elder Ghost Prison took out a map of the Duqian Blood Beast world. The map was clearly divided into 3 areas according to color. The blue area was the outer area of the Duqian Blood Beast world. The orange area was the middle area of the Duqian Blood Beast world, and the red area was the depths of the Duqian Blood Beast world. You come from the royal family of Zhou State. I believe you already know about the secret passage of the Duqian Blood Beast world and the existence of the descendants of the Bakar orcs. Elder Ghost Prison didn't explain further. The ancestors of Zhou State must have left behind some letters for their descendants. Yi Biming nodded. He had heard about the great war between the Bakar orcs and the human race, and the possibility that the descendants of the Bakar orcs existed in another continent. However, you must not know that the place where the 8 Beast Clan leaders were buried contains a secret that can make warriors and magicians more powerful. That secret is the blood crystals. Elder Ghost Prison pointed to the reddest area in the middle of the Blood Beast world, which was marked as an extremely dangerous area. The 8 Beast Clan patriarchs of the 8 Wastelands Beast Clan all had powerful physical bodies and astonishing magical talents. After they were killed, their blood flowed like a river. A part of their blood was used by the 8 Beast Clan leaders to draw the Duqian blood seal, which was used to support the existence of the Dutian blood beast world. However, that was only a part of it. Most of the blood of the 8 beast clan leaders had merged into the ground of the blood beast world and formed a special ore, which was the beast blood crystal. The beast blood crystal was divided into 2 types. One was the magic blood crystal, and the other was the fighting chi blood crystal. The magic blood crystal could greatly improve a magician's spiritual soul. The fighting chi blood crystal could refine a warrior's physical body. As long as enough blood crystals were integrated, a warrior would have a body as strong as the 8 beast clan leaders. The body of the Bakra, Orcs clan leader? What kind of powerful existence would that be? Of course, there are pros and cons. After all, the human race and the beast clan are not the same race. There is a limit to the integration of blood crystals. Even I, your teacher, have only integrated 3 blood crystals. If the integration is not good enough, you may explode from your fighting chi, Elder Ghost Prison said. Thank you, teacher. I have learned my lesson. After Yi Baiming heard this news, he left the mainland's elite warrior camp and headed to the Dutian blood beast world. High energy warning ahead, irresponsible exploding after midnight. Those who can support, please support. Those who can't, please bless me. Tomorrow's big sale. Chapter 743. As soon as Yi Baiming left, the ghost prison's elder let out a cry. He rubbed his chest and bared his teeth like an old monkey. Oh my God, that brat really hit me. It hurts. It was the first time the ghost prison's elder met such a student who attacked his own teacher without any mercy. Even with the blood crystals, the ghost prison's elder almost suffered internal injuries from Yi Baiming's punch. His internal organs were shaken, and that was before he used Beast Blood Berserk. If he used Beast Blood Berserk, what would Yi Baiming's punch be like? Even the ghost prison's elder, who had absorbed 3 blood crystals, found it hard to predict. Oh no, I forgot to tell that brat. With his martial emperor cultivation, he can only absorb 2 blood crystals at most. No, I have to find that brat. The ghost prison's elder stomped his feet. However, when he anxiously went to find Yi Baiming, he found that Yi Baiming had already left. With his understanding of Yi Baiming, once this brat found a blood crystal, he would definitely try his best to absorb it and pursue the strongest physical strength. Yi Baiming did not know that the ghost prison's elder was stomping his feet anxiously. Yi Baiming collected his thoughts and looked at the Dutian blood seal, not far away. The Dutian blood seal was a ferocious blood seal. It was like a huge, ancient totem that spanned across the ground. It was divided into 8 directions: east, west, south, north, southeast, southwest, northeast, and northwest. In each of the 8 directions, 8 Bakra Orcs patriarchs were buried. They were also known as the 8 Graves. It was rumored that among the patriarchs of the 8 great beast clans, the Black Chelan royal tribe's patriarch had the strongest physical body. The Chelan king's true physical body was like a towering mountain that stretched for hundreds of miles. As for the magician with the highest cultivation, it was the patriarch of the celestial fox people, who was known as the 9-life celestial fox. It was rumored that the patriarch of the celestial fox people was a peerless woman. She was proficient in witchcraft and healing, and was the most brilliant magician. These were all briefly described in the history books. What Yi Baiming wanted now was a stronger physical body. Therefore, his best choice was to find the location of the Black Chelan King's remains and find a suitable blood crystal. However, the thick blood aura swirling within the Dutian blood seal made it very difficult for anyone to guess the location of the beast chief skeleton. Are you looking for blood crystals? As a descendant of the Bakra Orcs, He Linlin was no stranger to blood crystals. Miss, you're also here to look for blood crystals. It looks like we have no choice but to be enemies. Yi Baiming's gray eyes moved slightly, and there was still a faint smile on his face. It seemed that they had the same goal this time. The man in front of her was her enemy. He Linlin couldn't help but feel a little regretful. Anyone who tried to compete with her would only end up dead. In fact, there had been a tradition among the Bakra Orcs since ancient times. Every clan leader would condense a blood crystal after they passed away. However, The purity of the blood crystal differed according to the cultivation level of the clan leader. However, only the truly powerful could condense the strongest blood crystal. However, there is only one piece of the strongest blood crystal, and that was the blood Sarira. The patriarchs of the 8 great beast clans were also known as the 8 most powerful patriarchs in history. Therefore, the divine palaces of the beast god Alter suspected that there were 8 blood Sariras hidden in the remains of the 8 patriarchs. The blood Sarira was the strongest blood crystal. The 8 descendants of the Bakra orcs had appeared here to retrieve the blood Sarira. This was something that Yi Baiming and the students who were still at the periphery of the Dutian blood beast world did not know. However, He Linlin was not afraid that Yi Baiming would snatch the blood Sarira. Legend had it that only the most powerful descendants of the Bakra orcs could unearth the blood Sarira. Yi Baiming took a step forward, and He Linlin followed him like a shadow. The blood crystal is the most precious treasure of the Bakra orcs. Human, don't even think about getting your hands on it. He Linlin did not allow for any explanation. She suddenly charged forward, and her duki exploded. Like a bomb, she charged towards Yi Baiming. Before the two of them collided, their duki had already collided. The two duki that were equally matched caused the air to distort strangely. Ripples formed around them. He Linlin's 5 fingers closed together, forming a dagger. Like a swimming dragon, she stabbed towards Yi Baiming's throat. If this attack hit his throat, it would definitely cause serious injury. Yi Baiming retreated, and his hand brushed lightly, like the autumn wind sweeping away fallen leaves. This flick seemed casual, but it contained a strange force. Clang! A sound similar to that of 2 swords clashing sounded. He Linlin felt her hand shake, and her duki immediately dissipated. What kind of combat skill was this? He Linlin was surprised. While she was surprised, Yi Baiming had already brushed past her and entered the Dutian blood seal. Something fell beside her ear. He Linlin touched it and found that it was a strand of hair. Just now, if that strange man's hand had brushed her neck, then at this moment, a ripple suddenly appeared in her heart, which had not fluctuated for more than 10 years. He Linlin's face flushed red, as if she was drunk. The blush quickly disappeared. It was only one move, but He Linlin felt like she was in the middle of a fierce battle. The Black Chelan royal family worshipped the strong. He Linlin had lived for 20 years, and this was the first time she met someone who could go toe-to-toe with her. Let's see where you're going. He Linlin stomped her foot, and with a whoosh, she also entered the Dutian blood seal. When the two of them entered the Dutian blood seal, a low growl came from the depths of the blood seal. At a certain location in the Dutian blood seal, a red light shone, but it quickly dimmed. At this moment, in the middle area of the Blood Beast sector, the 3 teams of the mainland magic elite camp had just entered the middle area of the Dutian blood seal. Due to the battle between Lu Tongtian and Blue, the 2 teams separated from the 4th Elder as soon as they entered the Blood Beast sector. The 2 teams of more than 20 people rushed in the same direction. After rushing through the thick blood fog, the 20 people stopped. A wave of blood fog rushed over, and the students found it difficult to breathe. Although they had taken the antidote, the students still felt that their magic power was suppressed by the blood fog. What's that sound? After entering the Dutian blood beast sector, the Crimson Moon River disappeared. The sound of flowing water was replaced by a strange rustling sound. Look, there's something in the blood fog. A few students found that there was a little bit of green in the blood fog. The green was like ghost fire floating in the grave sea in the middle of the night. Dozens of people were so scared that they took a few steps back. A bad feeling arose in Yun Sheng's heart. She turned her head to look behind her, and with one look, Yun Sheng felt that all the pores on her body were about to explode. Although she knew that once they entered the middle area, they might encounter commander-level magical beasts, she did not expect to encounter such a shocking number of blood crystal wolves. Chapter 744. Hundreds of blood crystal wolves walked out of the blood mist. Their fur was like fire, and they looked ferocious. Blood crystal wolves were a special kind of magic beast. They were a type of blood cloud beast with the earth element. After breaking through to the commander level, the fur on their bodies would turn into crystals and become incredibly tough. The hundreds of blood crystal wolves were obviously the rulers of this area. Their eyes were as sharp as knives, and they were much bigger than the average wolf pups. They looked more like strong sheep. These wolves did not rush forward when they saw the humans. This was very strange. Look, the students were scared out of their wits. They looked around. 1,000 meters away, a blood wolf king sat. A few commander-level wolves surrounded the blood wolf king. The blood wolf king slowly stood up, raised its neck, and howled. Oh! Everyone only felt a sense of fear explode from the bottom of their skulls like beans exploding. The hundreds of wolf soldiers gathered strength in their forelimbs and raised their tails high. They were like a row of well-trained soldiers, and like a sword out of its sheath, they rushed toward the students. Warm blood spurted out from the throat of the mage at the front. Their lives lasted for only a few seconds. Those who were still alive fell heavily to the ground and lost their lives. Landside had already lost one person. I seal. Land's face turned serious. She raised the magic scepter in her hand, and the fifth soul stone on it lit up. Countless icicles fell from the sky. The icicles were as sharp as arrows, and they smashed toward the wolves. Almost at the same time, Lu Tongtian did not show any weakness. Thunder rumbled and purple lightning flashed. They danced like snakes and pounced on the wolves. Lan and Lu Tongtian were the two most outstanding people in the continent's magic elite camp. They had entered and exited the Duchian blood beast world many times, so they were very familiar with this area. However, this was the first time they had encountered such a large group of blood crystal wolves. When the two faced danger, they were only surprised for a moment. Fortunately, they did not panic. One was an advanced ice element spell, Ice Seal, while the other was an advanced thunder element spell, Thunderbolt. His attack power was astonishing, and he killed dozens of high-level blood crystal wolves in an instant. Under the leadership of the two duels, the other students didn't show any signs of weakness. Yun Sheng and Abandon both rushed into the wolf pack. Due to the influence of the blood mist, the students with lower cultivation bases were affected by the blood mist. More or less, their cultivation bases and magic power were greatly reduced. Whether it was his chanting or his reflexes, they were both worse than before. Only Cheng Lian, and Feng Tian were slightly better. One of them had a magic bracelet on her, and her magic power was tyrannical. As for Feng Tian, he'd killed several hundred blood crystal wolves earlier and had long since honed his excellent killing ability. The two of them slaughtered their way into the pack of wolves like a hot knife through butter. Their attacks were vicious. The numbers on their magic badges soared. When Lu Tongtian saw this, he couldn't help but be overjoyed. He shot a provocative glance at Blue. Who would have thought that Lan was looking in another direction at this moment, with a hint of curiosity on her face? Lu Tongtian followed Azura's gaze. With one look, Lu Tongtian couldn't help but raise his eyebrows. After entering the middle area of the Dutian blood beast world, Abandon entered the wolf pack like a fish in water. He used a special poison spell to begin with, and combined it with the wind spell he just learned. His attack range was even wider. Once the wolf pack came into contact with the poison spell, their reactions would be slow. Abandon's attacks were clean and efficient, and he'd killed many wolves. But compared to Abandon, there was one person who made Blue and Lu Tongtian feel even more shameful. That was Yun Sheng. Yes, it was really shameful. Was she even considered a sorcerer like this? The wolves in front of them were high-level blood cloud beasts. Almost all the sorcerers in front of them had used their signature spells. Yun Sheng was different from Abandon. She didn't use any high-level spells. She only relied on her speed. Whether it was magic or attacking, Yun Sheng was faster than the average person. Her technique was so fast that it was dazzling. As for magic, she didn't use high-level spells. Or rather, she didn't know any high-level spells at all. She and Abandon walked side by side. The two of them stood on the left and right like two axes with a blade, piercing into the pack of blood cloud wolves. Seeing that Abandon had poisoned a large number of wolves, Yunsheng would either wait for an opportunity to stab or use a tricky little spell. She wouldn't meet force with force. If there was no chance, she would immediately dodge and wait for the next opportunity to stab. But in Blue's opinion, Yunsheng wasn't so simple. She looked like she was just stabbing, but it wasn't completely without order. When she attacked, it was just a stab or a spell, but it was often fatal. She would either stab the soul stone in the middle and pierce it, or use a flame explosion to hit the wolf's heart. Blue had previously wondered how Yunsheng could achieve the first kill record of more than 500 Blood Cloud beasts with her cultivation level. But now, Blue already had the answer. Every move was fatal. Yunsheng didn't have a weapon in her hand, but she was faster than a warrior with a weapon. There were several times when she could kill a Blood Cloud wolf in one hit. Moreover, she was using magic while killing wolves with her bare hands. If it was an ordinary wolf, it would be easy to understand. But Yunsheng was facing a high-tier Blood Cloud wolf. On Lu Tongtian's side, Chun Lianer and Feng Tian's magic badges were increasing rapidly. On Blue's side, beside Yunsheng and Abandon, the wolves were like the autumn wind sweeping away fallen leaves. Wolf corpses were scattered all over the ground. Seeing this, the other students were also affected by their unstoppable momentum. They all took a deep breath and charged towards the wolves. Blue, that's a competition between normal students. Our battlefield is over there. Lu Tongtian's gaze shifted. Hundreds of Blood Cloud wolves against dozens of students. They should be able to barely handle it. Based on the current situation, Lu Tongtian and Blue's teams were evenly matched. It would be difficult to determine who was better. If the two teams were to compete, the key to victory would be the few commander-level wolf generals and the Blood Cloud Wolf King that was close to king level. According to the mainland's Magic Elite Camp's battle record calculation system, a Blood Cloud beast was worth 1 battle point. A commander-level Blood Cloud beast was worth 10 battle points. A king-level Blood Cloud beast was worth 100 battle points. Therefore, killing the Wolf King and the commander-level magical beast was the key. How could Blue not know this? A burst of icy air condensed in Blue's hands, and a small mirror-like ice shield appeared in front of her. The ice shield was special. As long as the wolves pounced on Blue, the ice shield would automatically move. That was the super spell Blue had obtained from the Magic Forest Royal Tree when she broke through to the Saint-level Mage King level, Roaming Dragon Shield. This shield could block attacks from many angles. For a mage like Blue, it was effective against sneak attacks. Lu Tongtian also began chanting. A layer of grayish-green magic appeared on his body. That was the super spell Lu Tongtian had obtained after breaking through to the Saint-level Wood Armor. Chapter 745. Indigo and Lu Tongtian pounced towards the wolf pack at almost the same time. The Wolf King was still majestic and didn't move at all. It sat proudly on the side and watched the slaughter. The 4 commander-level blood crystal wolves under it moved first. Then they heard a few bangs. The 4 commander-level monsters split into 4 groups, 2 in pairs, and instantly surrounded Lu Tongtian and Indigo. Lu Tongtian stomped his feet and turned into a flash, dodging a wolf that was pouncing towards him. He waved the magic scepter in his hand, and several lightning bolts as thick as an arm struck towards the wolf's waist. Who knew that the blood crystal wolf that was dodged would leap into the air and claw towards Lu Tongtian's back? Lu Tongtian didn't dodge, and the sharp wolf claws tore open his wooden armor. There was a crack in the armor, but it only took an instant for the damaged part of the armor to repair itself. Thunder Flash hit a commander-level wolf general's waist, and it let out a cry of pain. The wolf general was split in half at the waist. On Indigo's side, she had just jumped up when she saw 2 commander-level wolf generals pounce towards her from the Wolf King's side. The wolf pack's jumping ability was amazing, and they jumped 7 to 8 meters high. The wolf pack clawed at Indigo's neck. Yunsheng and Qi, who weren't far away, were shocked. At that moment, the nimble shield in front of Indigo cleverly blocked the wolf's attack. The magic scepter in Indigo's hand spat out an ice blade and pierced the wolf's chest. Indigo's eyes flashed, and the ice shield flew out diagonally, smashing into another wolf's head. With a clang, the ice shield and the wolf's head collided, and brain matter instantly flowed all over the ground. Lu Tian and Indigo took care of the two commander-level wolf generals almost at the same time. They didn't hesitate at all, and they didn't even have time to meditate. Like two bolts of lightning, they surrounded the Wolf King. Lu Tian was afraid of falling behind, and before he arrived, he had already completed his magic incantation. The dark purple lightning was like thousands of tree branches in a storm, striking towards the Wolf King. Under such an attack of thunderflash, no one could survive. Indigo's magic scepter glowed with a cold blue light. She waved the magic scepter, and an icy aura swept out like an angry wave, forcing the power of thunder and lightning to retreat. Indigo, you dare to stop me? Lu Tian roared angrily like a mad dog. He turned the magic scepter, and streaks of purple lightning struck towards Indigo. For a moment, the field alternated between purple and blue, and the two magic powers collided. However, right at that moment, Yinsheng noticed that the Wolf King had suddenly moved. Since the beginning of the battle, the Wolf King had been unusually calm. It did not seem like an unintelligent beast at all. Just as Lan and Lu Tian were on bad terms, a human-like calculation appeared in the depths of the Wolf King's eyes. Neither Lan nor Lu Tian noticed. However, this scheme was caught by Yinsheng. Indigo, 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 go, indigo, indigo, go, indigo, indigo. A woo. With a powerful howl, the Wolf King that had been sitting on the ground suddenly soared into the air. Its four strong and powerful limbs were like a taut bow. This leap was actually dozens of meters high. Its sharp claws and teeth, like blades, scratched Lu Tian's armor. Idiot! Lu Tian sneered. His wood armor spell was invulnerable. Just as the wolf's claws pierced Lu Tian's armor, the Wolf King opened its mouth and spat out a ball of fire. Seeing the fire, Lu Tian's face showed fear for the first time. His wood armor spell was invulnerable and had a strong regenerative ability. But there was one thing: Wood was afraid of fire. Once the wood armor spell came into contact with fire, it would be broken. A wolf actually knew how to use magic to suppress magic. When Lu Tian, who was first on the magic list, realized it, it was already too late. The Wolf King's sharp claws pierced his chest, and he was knocked back dozens of meters by the strong impact. Indigo felt the tremor. She knew that something was wrong, and she had already taken a few steps back. But how could the Wolf King allow her to retreat? The Wolf King leaped up, and its claws slashed at Indigo's throat. The wandering dragon shield was eager to protect its master, and blocked the Wolf King's claws in time. Whoosh! The wolf's claws suddenly changed and turned into a human hand. At that moment, all the students were inexplicably terrified. What did they see? The Wolf King's body was rapidly changing in midair. Its fur faded, and the Wolf King's fur-covered body turned into the body of a strong adult man. It was an orc man who was nearly 2 meters tall, proficient in magic, and at the same time possessing the terrifying power of a demonic beast, a descendant of the 8 Desolates. At this time, the Wolfman had already landed and completely transformed into a human, and the wandering dragon shield was in his hand. This person was the Green Tooth of the Green Netherwolf tribe that Indigo mentioned before. The Green Netherwolf tribe was a middle-level orc tribe among the Bakra orcs. Green Tooth was a wild orc. He had a head of messy gray hair, and he was only wearing shorts that looked like an apron. His upper body was naked, and there was a tattoo of a wolf's head with a green face and fangs. His body was covered with old wounds, and it was obvious that he was a fierce warrior who had experienced all kinds of battles. It had to be said that this wolf man was not only powerful, but he was also smart. Just now, he had mixed in with the wolf pack and caused Indigo and Lu Tian to be careless. Midway, he suddenly attacked, and that was how they managed to defeat the 2 Saint-level Law Emperors. No one had expected that they would meet the person they least wanted to meet the moment they entered the Duqian Blood Beast world. Human, prepare to die. Qingyao spat out a cold sentence. He had already seen through that this group was just a motley crew. As long as he killed the 2 Saint-level law emperors in the lead, then the rest of them would sooner or later become fat meat in the mouths of his wolf cubs. A sharp glint flashed in the wolf's eyes. He grabbed the trembling, wandering dragon shield with one hand and grabbed Indigo's neck with the other hand as fast as lightning. In his eyes, killing a human mage at close range was as easy as strangling a wild chicken. Sister Lawn. In the nick of time, Yunsheng blurted out a spell without thinking. High-level space-time spell, space-time prohibition. At this moment, the wolfman's claws were just inches away from Indigo's throat. At that moment, his hand suddenly stopped, and his whole body stiffened, unable to move. Yunsheng's space-time prohibition could only last for 3 seconds, but in a battle between experts, victory and defeat was often decided in the blink of an eye. The wandering dragon shield suddenly broke free from the man's hand. At that moment, Indigo had already used her life-saving spell. The wandering dragon shield emitted a cold light, and 6 sharp ice blades popped out of the shield. The shield that could save lives instantly turned into a flying wheel that could take lives. The wandering dragon shield spun rapidly and brushed past Greentooth's neck. In a breath, the space-time prohibition had lost its effect. Chapter 746. Caught off guard. A half-foot-long bloody wound appeared on Qingya's neck. It was so deep that bone could be seen, and blood gushed out like a fountain. Qingya covered the wound as blood flowed out from between his fingers. He staggered back a few steps. A layer of ice quickly formed on his wound, and bone-chilling ice-type magic power was seeping into his body. If not for the fact that he had the body of a magical beast and had thick skin and flesh, that blow just now would have separated his head from his body. But what made Qingya wary was not the blow just now. What surprised him was the magic that made him unable to move at the last moment. That magic had clearly surpassed the various magic that Qingya already knew of. Could it be that he had underestimated this group of people, and that there was an even more powerful magician hidden among them? In the crowd, Qingya began to search for the magician who had secretly made a move. His suspicious gaze swept over the several students one by one. In the end, he locked on 3 people: Abandon, Chun Lianer, and Feng Tian. Qingya had secretly observed the enemy just now and had long confirmed that Lu Tongtian and Lan were the strongest in this human team of more than 30 people. The rest were the 3 sky magicians who had used advanced magic earlier. Among these 3 people, who was the one who attacked? Qingya was wary of the magician hiding in the dark and did not dare to rashly attack again. Without the Wolf King's order, those wolf pups also stopped fighting. Just as Qingya was hesitating, a strange beast roar came from a certain direction behind him. Hearing that beast roar, Qingya spat out a mouthful of saliva. He glared fiercely at the crowd. "Count yourselves lucky. Wolf pups, let's go." He raised his head and let out a deafening howl. The blood crystal wolves that had not died retreated in an orderly manner. In a short while, the wolf pack disappeared, leaving only wolf and human corpses on the ground. From start to finish, the entire process lasted for several hours. Even though Qingya had left, the crisis was not over. The legs of the students were all weak, and their expressions were extremely unsightly. The ground was littered with wolf corpses. Most of the people had suffered light injuries. Fortunately, there were not many people who were seriously injured. Compared to them, the ones who suffered the most were the 2 team leaders. Azura rolled on the ground, her face as white as a sheet. She had managed to dodge Qingya's killing move at the last moment, but she had been affected by the battle chi and suffered serious internal injuries. Lu Tongtian's situation was even worse than Blue's. He had been struck in the chest by Green Fong, and many of his ribs were broken. At this moment, he was barely holding on to his last breath. Although Lu Tongtian and Azura were both injured by Qingya, at least from the looks of the situation, Azura had injured Qingya at the final moment. In fact, Blue had won. Both Lan and Lu Tongtian were the trump cards of the continent's magic elite camp. But in front of this man from the Wolf Clan, who had appeared out of nowhere, they seemed to be unable to withstand a single blow. One of the reasons for this was that the blood evil chi in the Duqian blood beast world was too powerful. It had eroded their dharma souls and greatly reduced their cultivation. Another reason was that the two of them were still fighting each other at crucial moments. Now that both of them were seriously injured, they could only stare at each other. The students on both sides were trembling with fear. One of the braver ones stepped forward. "Senior brother, senior sister, this Dutian blood beast world is too dangerous. Let's go out." The other students also wanted to leave as soon as possible. Lu Tongtian and Azura did not speak. This time, they had all failed in their duties. If they did not complete the mission, the two elders would definitely scold them when they left. But in their current state, if they met an expert like Qingya again, they would not even have a chance to survive, let alone rescue them. Even though Greentooth came alone just now, that strange beast roar just now was definitely emitted by his companion. At this moment, Azura and Lu Tongtian were unwilling to be the first to leave. No one wanted to be the one to retreat. Fourth Elder had said 24-hour. Even if they did not rescue anyone, they had to stay in the blood beast world for a full 24-hour. "Sister Lan, let me take a look at your wound first." Yun Sheng kindly stepped forward, wanted to take a look at Lan's wound. She had just taken Lan's hand when Lan clasped it back. Her eyes were fixed on Yin Sheng. "You take my place." Yin Sheng was taken aback. She understood Lan's meaning. Lan wanted her to take her place and lead the team to complete the rest of the rescue mission. But why her? Yin Sheng was not ranked in this team in terms of seniority and cultivation. Her only advantage was that Yun Sheng was a doctor. Yun Sheng and Lan had only met twice, and both times were not pleasant. Lan was a genius and powerful, but Yun Sheng did not dare to compliment her personality. Towards Lan, Yun Sheng had always avoided her as much as possible. "Thank you." Lan leaned close to Yun Sheng. Using a voice that only the two of them could hear, she whispered into Yun Sheng's ear. Although her voice was low, Yun Sheng heard it. She did not expect that this senior sister, who was as proud as a winter plum, actually knew how to say thank you. The fight between Lan and Qingya had only paused for a few seconds. In the chaos, no one else had noticed that Qingya had been hit by a space-time prohibition spell, but Lan had noticed it. It was also because of that space-time magic that Lan was able to save her life. At the last moment, she had even turned the situation around and fought back. So, the one who had forced Qingya to retreat was not Lan, but the sorcerer who had attacked secretly. Lan had once heard the great elder mention that the disciple of the Dark Gold Minter had learned a useless forbidden spell in the magic forest, space-time prohibition. Lan had also said disdainfully that a space-time prohibition that could only last for 3 seconds was useless. She did not expect that this time, it was these insignificant 3 seconds that had saved her life. Lan's heart was filled with mixed feelings, but she did not forget the fourth elder's instructions. She thought about it, and finally decided to let Yun Sheng replace her as the temporary leader. Seeing that Yun Sheng was chosen as the leader, a few people in the team showed dissatisfaction. Hearing that Lan had appointed Yun Sheng as the temporary leader, Lu Tongtian could not back down. He gritted his teeth. "Lianair, you replace me and lead everyone to continue the mission." Hearing this, Chun Lianair's heart was filled with joy. "She is not worthy." Feng Tian stood up. It was impossible for him to listen to Chun Lianair's orders. "Feng Tian, this is not the elite camp. There are no elders to protect you. Either obey my orders or scram," Lu Tongtian said angrily. His injuries were not light, but his authority was still there, and the students did not dare to disobey him. But Feng Tian was a tough nut to crack. He snorted and left the team without looking back. He had always liked to act alone. A team was just a burden to him. The temporary leaders of both sides had been chosen. Chapter 747. Abandon, you stay behind to take care of Sister Lan and the other injured students. Yin Sheng did a head count. Excluding a few heavily injured students and Lan, She chose 7 or 8 people to go with her into the central region of the Dutian blood beast world. Yin Sheng, I think I should go with you. Abandon was unwilling to stay behind to take care of Lan. He knew that the central region of the Dutian blood beast world was full of danger. He was worried that Yun Sheng could not handle alone. Don't worry, I'll definitely come back safe and sound. Yun Sheng's confidence also infected Abandon. On the contrary, Chun Lianer made the decision to take away all available combat power. Stupid, leaving the main combat power behind to take care of the injured at a time like this. Abandon was undoubtedly the trump card of Yun Sheng's team, but she left Abandon behind. How did she manage to be a temporary leader? Yun Sheng, stop pretending to be a saint. You think that by leaving someone behind to take care of Lan, she will be grateful to you in the future? Chun Lianer was disdainful. Senior Liu, we will definitely save the others. Take care of yourself. After Chun Lianer received the position of temporary leader, she brought along everyone who could still fight, regardless of whether they were heavily injured or not. Lu Tongtian was unhappy, but he did not say much. The two teams walked a few steps when Chun Lianer suddenly stopped. If any of you want to join our team, you still have a chance to choose. This competition is no small matter. The loser will lose the right to participate in the next 8 Baron Relics mission. Do you really think you can win if you follow her? After all, as the temporary leader, Yun Sheng was not powerful enough and did not have enough prestige. Just now in the campsite, they had reluctantly followed Yun Sheng because of Lan. Now that senior apprentice Sister Lan wasn't here and Chun Lian had thrown out an olive branch, a few people started to hesitate. Senior Chun, do you mean what you say? Every student in the campsite wanted to participate in the search for the relics. If the opportunity was good and they found the relics, their status and identity would be elevated. You know my relationship with Senior Brother Liu. He will definitely listen to my words. If you follow her, you won't stand a chance at all. She's not even a sky magician, Chun Lianer said, and the students behind her burst into laughter. Yin Sheng didn't get angry. Behind her, 3 or 4 students walked out and joined Chun Lianer's team. As a result, there were only 4 people left in Yun Sheng's team. These people didn't want to join Chun Lianer's team because they couldn't stand her behavior. Just you wait. Once we save the others, you will regret it. Chun Lianer saw that she had achieved her goal and left with a dozen people. The few students who stayed behind were a little anxious. Yin Sheng, there are only a few of us. How are we going to save them? Why don't we go back first and ask Sister Lan for her opinion? Yin Sheng didn't think so. Sometimes, having fewer people was an advantage. At least this time, she didn't have to face the situation of internal strife. No need. It's just saving people. Too many people will only make things worse. Let's sneak into the enemy's campsite first, and then make plans. Yin Sheng didn't care. Enemy's campsite? But we don't even know where they are. The few students were doubtful. Just now, I've already sprinkled a special powder on the bodies of the blood crystal wolves. As long as we follow the smell of this herb, we can quickly find the enemy's campsite. Yun Sheng mocked as she looked at Chun Lianer, who had already disappeared. Yun Sheng led the 4 students and rushed towards the center of the Dutian blood beast world. In reality, if Chun Lianer was cooperative, Yun Sheng wouldn't mind cooperating with her for a short period of time. But that woman was a narrow-minded person. Since that was the case, he would let her and her group of comrades slowly search in the blood beast metropolis world. Just as Yun Sheng and the rest were rapidly approaching the stronghold of the descendants of the Bakra orcs, the injured Green Tooth had just rushed back. He didn't realize that his wolf pack had been tricked by Yun Sheng. Oh, Green Tooth, you failed miserably. Seeing Green Tooth's appearance, the few people, including Green, couldn't help but be shocked. Although Green Tooth was not the most powerful among them, in terms of attack power, he was still one of the top 5. To be able to injure Green Tooth to this extent, the opponent's ability was evident. Don't mention it. We were tricked. What were you guys yelling about just now? If I hadn't heard the signal, I would have torn that group of magicians into pieces. Green Tooth had heard their assembly signal just now and hurried back. What else could it be? It's time to enter the Dutian blood seal and search for the Beast King's Saraira. We don't have much time. That space-time gap is about to close. Green glanced at Green Tooth's wound and casually threw him a bottle of medicine. Green Tooth gulped down a few mouthfuls, and the wound on his neck stopped bleeding immediately. That's right. Lest that woman Hei Lin Lin takes the lead again. There's no time to lose. Let's set off immediately. Wait, if you all leave, what about the hostages? Hu Linglong's expression was a little unnatural when she heard that they were going to the Dutian Blood Seal to search for the Beast King Sarira. They're just some insignificant people. I'll feed them to my wolf pups. Green Tooth saw that the group of people's attire was the same as the group of people who had slaughtered his wolf pups earlier, and a surge of anger surged in his heart. No, this group of people are sorcerers. I want their dermic souls. Hu Ling glared. Then you can stay here and guard the hostages. Women are troublesome. Green Tooth couldn't be bothered with Hu Linglong. It was also a problem. She didn't want the celestial fox Sarira and wanted the human dermic souls instead. The others also ignored Hu Linglong and all headed towards the Dutian Blood Seal. Linglong and the others, is this really okay? What if we can't find the celestial fox Sarira? One of Hu Linglong's subordinates was worried. Shut up. If I can't get the celestial fox Sarira, do you think that trash can find it? Hu Linglong was annoyed. Hu Linglong was still hiding a secret in her heart. The others could easily enter the celestial fox tomb, but she had some scruples. That was because Hu Linglong wasn't the real celestial fox saintess. I'm in a bad mood. Go and grab a sorcerer. I want to vent my anger. Hu Linglong looked at the Dutian Blood Seal, irritably. Legend had it that those who were recognized by the Beast King Sarira were likely to obtain supreme power. Unfortunately, a sorcerer was quickly pulled out. What are you doing? Seeing Hu Linglong's malicious smile, the sorcerer who had recovered his consciousness shrank back. I'm just using your dermic soul to nourish my precious magic scepter. What are you afraid of? The pain will only last for a moment. A sinister smile appeared on Hu Linglong's unusually beautiful face. Chapter 748. In the dark, Yun Sheng and a few students saw this scene. She and a few students followed the scent of the blood crystal wolf all the way here. She also saw Green. She did not expect Green to be with these people. Yun Sheng did not act on her own. She ordered the students not to act rashly and waited quietly. Fortunately, it did not take long for the few young men and women who looked very powerful to leave separately. For what she heard, they seemed to want to enter the core area of the Dutian Blood Beast world to look for something called a Sarira. After these people left, only the girl called Hu Linglong was left behind. Looking at Hu Linglong's appearance, Yun Sheng could tell that Hu Linglong should be a descendant of the celestial fox people. However, although this girl looked beautiful, there was a sense of unruliness and viciousness between her brows. She did not look like a kind person. Hu Linglong did not know that someone was spying on her in the dark. The magic scepter in Hu Linglong's hand was very special. It did not look like it was made of ordinary beast bones. With Yun Sheng's understanding of the structure of bones, she recognized at a glance that Hu Linglong's magic scepter was made of human bones. At the top of the magic scepter, there was also a skull shaped like human bones. There was only a soul stone on the skull, which was held in the skull's mouth. Just looking at such a magic scepter would make one's hair stand on end. Following Hu Linglong's incantation, the soul stone shot out a dark light. The dark light was like a crafty little snake that drilled into the magic student's skull. There was a cloud of black mist between his brows. The mist kept twisting and turning. The student's expression also changed. At first, he was in pain, rolling around on the ground. But gradually, he lost the ability to struggle. His eyes became dull, and saliva flowed out of his mouth. He even lost the ability to speak and could only moan. A cloud of light appeared on top of his head. The other students didn't recognize that thing, but Yun Sheng did. Back in Banana Leaf Village, great magician Zhou had used a similar method and chant in an attempt to seize Yi Baiming's Dharma Soul. The Dharma Soul seemed to want to struggle, but it couldn't resist the power of Hu Linglong's magic scepter and was sucked into the scepter. He then looked at Hu Linglong's magic scepter. After the soul stone absorbed the magic soul of a magic student, the soul stone strangely grew in size. Only then did Yun Sheng understand that the soul stone on Hu Linglong's magic scepter was actually growing by absorbing the souls of living people. What kind of sorcery was this? There was actually such a way to nourish a magic scepter on the continent. Yun Sheng felt a chill in her heart. Beside her, a female magic student let out a low growl. Yun Sheng looked back and saw that the female magic student's eyes were full of tears. This female magic student probably knew the student who was killed. It was really cruel for these students to witness their friends or colleagues being killed by such sorcery. Yun Sheng made a gesture, and the few of them quietly moved to the side. Just as they entered the safe zone, the female magic student jumped up. "I'm going to save them." "Are you sure you're going to save them and not die?" Yun Sheng said coldly. "Are we going to watch them be tortured to death? I really regret following you." "If it was Chun Lien'er's group, I definitely wouldn't have sat back and watched," the female student said angrily. "You think Chun Lien'er can beat that evil woman? I'm afraid even Lu Tongtian may not be their match. Don't forget, they're in cahoots with that werewolf. They can't even beat one, let alone a group." Yun Sheng's words forced down the students' originally excited emotions. They also knew that Yun Sheng was telling the truth. Then what should we do? Although these elite camp students were all geniuses, they were still from noble families. Faced with such a thorny situation, they were at a loss and had no idea what to do. We have to save them, but the prerequisite is that we have to protect our own lives. We're here to save them, not to die. Before they come back, we have to think of a comprehensive plan. Yinsheng thought for a moment and quickly came up with an idea. She divided the four of them into two groups. One group would go find the fourth elder, and the other would sneak out to deliver the news to the second elder. In the Duqian blood beast world, many descendants of the Bahuang tribe had suddenly appeared, and each of them seemed to have good skills and strength. If one of these people appeared, it might be a coincidence. But for so many of them to appear at once, even gathering all the descendants of the Bahuang tribe, this matter was not simple. Something must have happened in the core area of the Duqian blood beast world. The current situation was not something that Yun Sheng and the others could handle alone. She needed reinforcements. The other two would stay behind with her to guard the empty ship, to prevent the other party from suddenly moving the ship. After they heard this, they also felt that Yun Sheng's arrangement was the most appropriate one. The two of them quickly left under the cover of the night. Yun Sheng and the other two students hid in the shadows. After Hu Linglong absorbed the Dharma soul, she entered the cabin to meditate and adjust her breathing. That demented student was also left outside. In the latter half of the night, the people on the empty ship were already resting. The colorful empty ship was parked not far away. "I'll go up and take a look," Yun Sheng said. Her figure flashed, and she was already near the empty ship. "Who is it?" Unexpectedly, just as Yun Sheng jumped into Class A, she suddenly heard a stern voice. Yun Sheng cursed in her heart. A guard of the Celestial Fox people barged in. With a flash of light, he was patrolling when he suddenly saw someone barge in. Yun Sheng secretly gripped her magic scepter tightly, waiting for the other party to come close to kill immediately. Unexpectedly, when that person saw Yun Sheng, he was first shocked. Then he hurriedly knelt down and respectfully greeted. "Lord Holy Maiden, why have you come?" "Holy Maiden?" Yun Sheng was a little confused. But looking at the fox guard's reaction, he seemed to have mistaken Yun Sheng for some holy maiden. Yun Sheng thought for a moment and decided to go with the flow. She did not want to reveal her identity first. She deliberately pretended to be cold and arrogant. "Why? Can't I come?" "That's not what I meant. Lady Linglong said that the holy maiden has caught a cold and can't come. That's why she brought us and the priests out. It seemed that there was something wrong with Hu Linglong's identity." I already knew that Hu Linglong was disloyal. My body has already recovered. I was worried that there would be problems with this mission, so I rushed over. "What's wrong with these people?" The guard refused to answer at first. He knew that the holy maiden of the Celestial Fox people had been kind and compassionate since young. Even when facing the human race, she didn't want to hurt the innocent. But why did the holy maiden look a little different today? Chapter 749. It seems that you don't take me, the Saintess, seriously. Although she didn't know what the Saintess was, judging from the guard's reaction, her status shouldn't be lower than Hu Linglong's. Yun Sheng gave the guard a cold stare, and the guard shuddered. The Saintess, who had always been gentle, suddenly showed her power. The guard was shocked and hurriedly explained, "Saintess, please calm down. I don't dare. These people were captured by Lady Linglong. She said that she wanted to use them as sacrifices for the magic scepter." "Where are those people now?" Yun Sheng glanced at the empty ship. This empty ship was much bigger than the one she got from the Hidden Night Pavilion. This colorful empty ship looked very special. She couldn't rule out the possibility that there were other magic arrays on the empty ship. The guard felt that something was wrong with the Saintess tonight. In his memory, the Saintess rarely showed herself. Usually, even when she went out, Hu Linglong would accompany her and pass on the message. But tonight, he didn't know if it was because of the night, or the guard felt that the Saintess tonight, just by standing there, gave people a feeling that she was sharp and couldn't be underestimated. The guard had doubts in his heart. He secretly raised his head, but that face was indeed the Holy Maiden's, the Saintess of the Celestial Fox people. In terms of appearance, even her cousin, Lady Linglong, was ashamed of her inferiority. The guard's abnormality attracted Yun Sheng's attention. Yun Sheng's heart skipped a beat. Her eyes changed, and a golden light flashed in her black eyes. The guard's mind went blank instantly, as if he was struck by lightning. "Tell me, where are those people who were kidnapped?" Yun Sheng breathed a sigh of relief. Her Shinong pupil had improved a lot compared to before. She was confident that she could control a celestial fox guard with good strength. What's more, the guard had always thought that Yun Sheng was the Saintess of the celestial fox people. He was in awe of Yun Sheng and let his guard down. That was why he was easily hypnotized by Yun Sheng's Shinong pupil. The guard took Yun Sheng to a cabin. Yun Sheng took a look. Except for the student who was already in a daze, everyone else was locked inside. When those people saw Yun Sheng, they immediately became restless. "Quiet. Tell me first, how many people are here?" Yun Sheng was afraid of startling the others on the empty ship. She looked around. Not only were there people of the mainland's elite mage camp, but there were also people of the mainland's elite warrior camp, and even some aristocratic family members of the mainland. Among these people, Hu Linglong had been captured a few days. Hu Linglong would extract one person's spiritual soul every day. When they saw their companions become dazed, they were all frightened and uneasy. When they finally saw someone coming to rescue them, they all swarmed over. After asking about the number of people, Yun Sheng confirmed whether there were any injuries among these people. As a result, most of them were more or less injured when they were captured. In order to prevent those magicians and warriors from escaping, Hu Linglong also used the spiritual soul lock. As for the warriors, their fighting energy was sealed by a special restriction. What a vicious woman! Yun Sheng couldn't help but frown. This Hu Linglong seemed to be a very scheming person. There was no news from the disciple who went to deliver the letter to the two elders. Lu Tontian and Sister Land's accidental injuries caused the mainland's elite mage camp to lose more than half of their combat power. The rest of the students were also a motley crew. To save them, I'm afraid. Yun Sheng frowned and thought for a moment. Then she looked at the pairs of frightened eyes in the dark cabin. She suddenly came up with a plan. Who are the people on the ship, and where is the cockpit? The guard was at a loss as he told Yun Sheng about it. On the empty ship, Hu Linglong was meditating and turning the spiritual soul of the human student into her own. At this moment, there was a hurried knock on the door. A guard outside the door said, "Lady Linglong, there are assassins on the ship. The human in the cabin has escaped." "What?" When Hu Linglong heard that, she grabbed her magic scepter and rushed out. She went to the cabin where the person was held captive and saw that it was empty. There was not a single person inside. "Damn human. Men, call the 6 priests and chase after them with me." Hu Bo followed the guard's instructions and led several masters of the celestial fox people to chase in the direction of the fugitive. Just as Hu Linglong left, Yun Sheng and a few other students poked their heads out from another storage room. The dozens of hostages from earlier did not escape at all. They were just urgently handled by Yun Sheng and moved to the cabin next door. Hu Linglong only checked the original cabin and did not expect that the person she was chasing was actually next door. Especially those few students, they were really worried that they would be discovered by Hu Linglong. Captain Yun, what should we do next? The two students now recognized Yun Sheng as the captain. There's no time to lose. Drive the empty ship away immediately. The captain is temporarily under control. Yun Sheng found a cockpit all the way. Like the guard from earlier, the captain also mistook Yun Sheng for the saintess of the Celestial Fox people and fell into Yun Sheng's trap. Hu Linglong led a group of masters of the Celestial Fox people and chased after the captain under the lead of the Fox Guard. After chasing for a full half an hour, they still did not see any trace of the captain. Hu Linglong could not help but be suspicious. Not to mention the assassins who broke into the empty ship. How could the hostages who had their Dharma souls and Do Chi restrained run so far away? They could not catch up with them even with magic? Halt! Are you certain that those people fled in this direction? Hu Linglong shouted at the guard in front of her. Unexpectedly, the guard was at a loss and could not answer for a long time. Lord Linglong, there's something wrong with this person. Among the 6 priests behind Hu Linglong, the one who looked the oldest walked out. He knew some spells of witchcraft. He saw that the guard's eyes were dull and his words were incoherent. From the looks of it, he was very similar to those who had been poisoned with witchcraft spells. At this time, the sky in the distance flashed with a 5-colored light. Damn it, we've been lured away. Hurry, let's go back. Hu Linglong was fuming with anger. That 5-colored empty ship was her father's treasure. If she lost it, she would definitely be punished when she returned. On the empty ship, Yun Sheng and the 2 students only heaved a sigh of relief when the empty ship left the ground. As long as the empty ship left the central area of the Dutian Blood Beast world, they would be safe. Captain Yun, it's not good. Those people are coming again. After flying for a quarter of an hour and seeing that they were about to enter the outer area of the Dutian Blood Beast world, a student on the deck panicked and pointed below the empty ship. Chapter 750. The group of Heavenly Fox Clan powerhouses led by Hu Linglong all had decent cultivation and were already at the level of sky magicians. The 7 of them spread their wings and flew. The airship was about to fly out of the central area of the Dutian Beast Blood World. If it left the central area, it was likely to be ambushed by the human clan. Hu Linglong did not dare to rashly pursue. When Hu Linglong found that the entire airship had been stolen, she was furious. Although she could not figure out why even the captain betrayed her. She killed the Celestial Fox people's bodyguard who had been hypnotized. She chased all the way and finally caught up with the colorful airship before it flew out of the central area of the Dutian Beast Blood World. People on the ship, stop immediately. Otherwise, don't blame me for washing the airship with blood. Hu Linglong's magician robe fluttered in the night wind. Her pretty face was full of murderous intent. Several Celestial Fox people's priests behind her chanted in unison. The magic scepters in their hands shot out 6 rays of magic light. The 6 rays of light intertwined and formed a huge magic net. The magic net shrouded the airship. The airship, which was originally flying at high speed, slowed down as if it had fallen into a quagmire. Not good, the airship is blocked. It can't fly. The 2 students were uneasy. Once the airship can move again, immediately escape. Yun Sheng frowned and ordered the captain. She immediately called the Celestial Fox people to the ship and called 2 magicians to get off the ship with her. After Yun Sheng finished speaking, she and the 2 magicians jumped off the airship like arrows. Hu Linglong shouted for a long time, but the airship still did not stop. She was about to get angry when she suddenly saw several people jump off the airship. Reckless. Just a few magicians want to stop us. You're really courting death. Hu Linglong sneered. When they jumped off, she shot out many flaming arrows. Yun Sheng and the 2 magicians were not slow either. They dodged many magic attacks. Yun Sheng did not say anything and directly rushed toward Hu Linglong and the others. Suddenly, the people of the celestial fox people felt their bodies freeze. Then, a thick fog suddenly appeared in the sky. In just 3 or 4 seconds, the magic net temporarily lost its effect, and the originally trapped ship regained its freedom. The people on the empty ship also listened to Yun Sheng's order and rushed out under the cover of the fog without any hesitation. Damn it, what's going on? Hu Linglong also lost consciousness for a moment. When she recovered, the thick fog blocked their vision again. By the time the fog dissipated, the multicolored airship had already taken advantage of that time to escape without a trace. Lady Linglong, one of those magicians, knows forbidden magic, while the other one knows elven magic. Be careful, the opponent is not simple. A priest recognized the magic. They thought that the two spells were cast by different mages. Despicable human magicians, I'll tear you to shreds. Hu Linglong's voice was stuck in midair. Earlier, when the magicians jumped off the empty ship, Hu Linglong did not see their faces clearly due to the wind's speed and the fog. But now that the fog had dissipated, Hu Linglong saw the faces of the magicians who jumped off the empty ship, especially Yun Sheng in the middle. "You trash, why are you here?" Hu Linglong blurted out subconsciously, pointing at Yun Sheng in the middle with a face as if she had seen a ghost. Yun Sheng did not know this unruly woman at all. Several priests of the Celestial Fox people also noticed at the same time that the magician who jumped off the empty ship looked exactly the same as their saintess of the Celestial Fox people. There was actually such a similar person in the world, and this person was a human. Hu Linglong was suspicious and stared at Yun Sheng again. They really looked the same, almost exactly the same. Whether it was Yun Sheng's appearance or figure, she was exactly the same as her good-for-nothing cousin. But Hu Linglong was stunned. She noticed that Yun Sheng was holding a magic scepter in her hand, and there were wind magic elements around her. This woman was not that trash. That trash did not know how to use magic at all. Although the two of them were somewhat similar, if one looked closely, they would realize that the young girl in front of them was not the same person as the trash saintess of the tribe. Although the face of this human magician, from her facial features to her figure, and even her head, was almost the same as that trash in the tribe. But if one took a few more glances, especially those close to them, it would be easy to recognize that the two of them were not the same person. That trash in the tribe was timid all day long, and even stuttered when speaking, let alone looking people in the eye. But this human girl was extraordinarily confident, and there was a domineering beauty between her eyebrows. They were definitely not the same person. So you're a human. There's a path to heaven, but you don't take it. There's no door to hell, but you just have to barge in. Hu Linglong brushed her hair with a flirtatious expression. Hu Linglong usually liked to bully that trash in the tribe. The female magician in front of her actually looked exactly the same as that trash. If she could catch her and torture her, it would give Hu Linglong an inexplicable sense of pleasure. Since the hostage and the empty ship had already escaped, she would catch this woman back and absorb her Dharma soul. Hu Linglong's eyes flashed fiercely. Her bewitching eyes blinked, and the skull on the magic scepter suddenly opened its mouth. Suddenly, there was a change in the surroundings. Yun Sheng and the students next to her felt pink all over their bodies, and a charming fragrance hit them in the face. Although Yun Sheng did not know where Hu Linglong came from, after smelling the fragrance, the two people next to her blushed, as if they were drunk, and began to sway. "Haha, no one can resist the pink skull formation of my fox clan." Hu Linglong giggled. "Is that so? I don't think so." Although Yun Sheng accidentally inhaled a puff of smoke, that was all. Her mind returned to normal in an instant. "Impossible. Why aren't you affected?" Hu Linglong looked as if she had seen a ghost. Because she did not inherit the legacy of a mythical beast, her magic was not very good, but her illusion was one of the best in the Celestial Fox clan. Yun Sheng did not seem to be affected at all. Yun Sheng knew in her heart that a large part of the reason why she was not affected by Hu Linglong's poison was that she was also from the Celestial Fox clan, and her mother was very likely to be related to this seductive woman in front of her. Hu Linglong's illusion level was average, but her illusion was immune to the direct descendants of the celestial fox people. Don't think that everything will be fine just because you can break my illusion. I'll let you have a taste of dying in the hands of your companions. Hu Linglong was very cunning. She giggled. The two magicians next to Yun Sheng could no longer distinguish between friend and foe, and attacked Yun Sheng. Chapter 751. After Yi Baiming got rid of He Linlin, he entered the Qilin tomb in the Dutian blood seal alone. As soon as he entered the Qilin tomb, Yi Baiming saw a majestic ancient tomb. Around the ancient tomb, there was a large amount of black blood jade. In comparison, it was the Beast King blood jade that Elder Gui you had mentioned earlier. Yi Baiming picked up a dozen pieces of Beast King blood jade. After picking up the blood jade, Yi Baiming did not leave. He looked around the Qilin tomb. The appearance of the tomb was like a lying Qilin on the ground. It was built with black marble. In front of the Qilin tomb, there was a broken stone tablet with a row of words written on it. The words were in ancient seal script. Yi Baiming had not learned it before, but when he saw the small seal script, lines of words appeared in his mind like reflections. Tomb of the Eight Desolation, Qilin, King Yixiao. I am the chief of the Bakra orcs, Yixiao. This tomb is my resting place. Those who do not belong to my race will have their Dharma soul shattered and their battle chi shattered. If my race enters, the fated ones can obtain the ancient Qilin relic and learn the Qilin battle technique. They can transform into the Qilin battle body and become invincible. The Qilin ancient teaching. Those of my race are not to. Yi Baiming read until here and found that a third of the text was missing. Yixiao's last words were also cut off here. No one knew what his last words of wisdom were for his descendants. Yi Baiming was pondering over the meaning of Yixiao's last words. Suddenly, he heard a crisp sound. The stone tablet had actually cracked. In the middle of the stone tablet, there was a black light flickering. The black light was emitted by a piece of pure black jade. The black jade was chirping as it floated in the air. The large number of blood jades seemed insignificant in comparison to it. Even Yi Baiming, who came from the royal family, had never seen such a transparent black jade. A thick and ancient aura emanated from the black jade. Could this be the Qilin relic that Yixiao mentioned on the stone tablet? Yi Baiming had a thought in his mind. Get it. As long as he got it, he would gain great benefits. Just as Yi Baiming was about to take the black jade, a delicate voice behind him shouted, "Put down the Qilin relic." The mysterious woman in black rushed over. This black-clothed woman was tall and slender. Her feminine features revealed a hint of heroism, giving her a unique sense of beauty. Seeing the Qilin relic that was humming nonstop, the short-haired woman's eyes were filled with surprise and astonishment. Why would the relic break out of the Qilin? Only of the Qilin's most powerful descendant appeared, of the Qilin king. He Linlin didn't expect that the Qilin relic, which only the black Qilin royal family could sense, would be found by a human. Furthermore, from the way the black Qilin relic was floating in the air and emitting light, it was clear that it had sensed the presence of this human. How could this be? She was the black Qilin saintess. Why would the black Qilin relic summon a stranger? What's your name? This time, the short-haired girl did not continue to fight with Yi Baiming. She also realized that this young man was very powerful. He was more than 10 times stronger than the average human. Even if they continued to fight, it would be difficult to determine the winner. The people from the other clans must have entered their respective Beast King's tombs. She had to get to Saraira as soon as possible. Before you ask for someone else's name, you should tell your name first. Or is it that the dignified Beast Clan of the 8 Wastelands doesn't dare to show their names to others? Yi Baiming also admired this young girl. Hey Linlin, when the young girl spat out her name, her expression was somewhat bashful. There were not many people in this world who knew her name. Yi Baiming of Zhou State. Yi Baiming and the girl looked at each other. The two of them looked at each other as if they were rivals. The short-haired girl smiled, and a rare touch of charm appeared on her face that was full of heroic spirit. There was a strange look in her light gray eyes. Yi Baiming, I like you very much. Be my man. The girl of the Beast clan confessed her feelings in a natural and unrestrained manner. In the Bakra orcs, there was no real distinction between men and women. Hei Linlin's expression of goodwill toward men was still the same as that of the Beast clan. If she liked someone, she would confess directly. Hei Linlin believed that with her appearance and strength, this strong human male would not reject her. "I'm sorry, but I refuse." Yi Baiming did not show any expression after hearing this sudden confession. He refused not because he disliked this girl. On the contrary, he did not dislike this girl in front of him. He did not know why, but he felt a sense of closeness to this girl. "How dare you refuse me?" Hei Linlin was angry as if she had been offended. She had lived for 18 years, but this was the first time she felt her heart moved by a man. Moreover, she was certain that this man was not an ordinary human. She could feel a noble aura from him that was not inferior to the Black Qilin royal clan. "There is nothing in this world that I, Yi Baiming, do not dare to do. Sorry, girl. Even if this relic belongs to the Qilin clan, I want it. Therefore, I want it." Yi Baiming did not allow for an explanation. He clenched his 5 fingers, and the Black Qilin relic in the air trembled and was sucked over by a strong force. "Let go." Hei Linlin would not let this go. She waved her hand, and the Qilin fighting energy emitted from her body wrapped around the Black Qilin relic like a spider web. The two of them were evenly matched and could not be defeated. Their fighting energy was like a tug of war. The Qilin relic was left and right, and neither of them could snatch it. After a full half hour, neither of them managed to snatch the relic. Both of them understood that they were opponents that they had never met in their lives. At this moment, Yi Baiming's expression changed slightly, and a trace of anxiety appeared between his eyebrows. Hei Linlin noticed the change in his expression. Although she had only met Yi Baiming twice, Hei Linlin was certain that this man in front of her had extraordinary skills and temperament. Rather than saying that he was arrogant, it was better to say that he was cold-hearted. Such a person should only have eyes for himself. Who was it that made his expression change so drastically? "I will leave the Qilin relic in your care for the time being." Yi Baiming suddenly withdrew his hand and gave up on the Qilin relic. His figure flashed and disappeared. After losing the balance between the two forces, the Qilin relic was taken into Hei Linlin's bag. The ice-cold black jade relic lay in Hei Linlin's hand, but there was not the slightest bit of joy on her face. She stared blankly in the direction that the man called Yi Baiming disappeared with a complicated expression in her eyes. Could it be that, to him, there was something more important than the Qilin relic? This man came and went like the wind. She could not understand his temperament at all. However, it was also because of this that Hei Linlin was even more curious about him. "Yi Baiming, only I am worthy of you in this world. You are mine." Hei Linlin held the Qilin relic and followed closely behind Yi Baiming. Chapter 752. Yunsheng dodged awkwardly and avoided an attack from her companions. The celestial fox people's illusions were indeed powerful. The two controlled magicians attacked Yunsheng as if they had gone mad. Yunsheng had to dodge the attacks from her companions and face the attacks from 5 to 6 celestial fox priests. She was flustered. Behind her, a wind blade brushed past without warning and cut Yunsheng's arm. Blood immediately gushed out. Yunsheng's black eyes also revealed a rare, solemn expression. She subconsciously touched her beast language ring and was about to summon. A figure suddenly appeared in front of Yunsheng. With a wave of his sleeve, he protected her and a magic scepter in his arms. The person's movements were too fast. Yunsheng could not react in time. She was careless and knocked into the person's chest. The tip of her nose hurt. Under her nose, she smelled a pleasant and familiar scent. Yunsheng subconsciously blurted out, "Night Fox, why are you here? What the hell are you doing? Why are you fighting with the celestial fox people?" Yi Baiming narrowed his eyes. Yi Baiming glanced at Yunsheng, who was in a sorry state. He was angry, but also a little distressed. His little wildcat was being bullied. When Yi Baiming was fighting fiercely with Hei Linlin just now, The crimson unicorn he carried on his body suddenly let out a low warning sound. His little wildcat was in danger. Without much hesitation, Yi Baiming decisively abandoned the Qilin relic. His black clothes were like the night. His handsome face was covered with frosty coldness and evilness. The moment Yi Baiming appeared, he protected Yun Sheng in his arms. This is a little complicated to explain. Let's talk about it another day. Yun Sheng was embarrassed. She did not want Yi Baiming to see her in such a sorry state. She admitted that at that moment, Yi Baiming's name appeared in her mind for a second. He actually appeared. Yun Sheng did not realize that the moment Yi Baiming appeared, she heaved a sigh of relief. She thought about it again. That's not right. Why did he appear here? She should be the one asking him this question. She followed the second elder to participate in the trial. It was perfectly justifiable for her to appear in the Dutian blood beast world. It was wrong for Night Fox to appear here. But now was not the time to discuss this. Yi Baiming raised his hand and looked at Yunsheng's wound lovingly. His gaze was enough to drown an ocean. Retracting his gaze and looking up, Yi Baiming seemed to have changed into a different person. His handsome and almost perfect face was covered with a layer of ruthlessness. Yunsheng was stunned. If not for the fact that she was still in trouble, Yunsheng really wanted to reach out and scratch Yi Baiming's foxy face to see if it was real. How could he change his appearance like a magic trick? You guys who did it just now. His gaze was cold and like an icicle. It shot towards Hu Bo and the group of celestial fox people behind him. It was me. Hu Linglong threw a coquettish glance at Yi Baiming. Do you want her hand or your life? Hu Linglong's coquettish glance had no effect on Yi Baiming. Who dared to touch his woman? You. What an arrogant brat. Do you think you can defeat us? I'll let you see my pink skull formation. Hu Bo glared at him. This man was not bad-looking, but his brain was not good. He dared to challenge the celestial fox people single-handedly. Didn't he see that there were many celestial fox people's priests behind her? Although Hu Linglong could not see the depth of this man's cultivation, his cultivation was obviously much higher than that female sorcerer's. Moreover, he was flying in the air, and his dookie wings had already turned invisible. Judging from his strength, he was at least a martial Grand Emperor. He was already a martial Grand Emperor at such a young age. In terms of monstrous talent, perhaps only a few people from the Upper Beast clan could compare to him. Hu Linglong did not dare to let her guard down. At Hu Bo's command, the celestial fox people's priests beside her began to chant together. 6 puffs of pink smoke spurted out from the celestial fox witchcraft beast master's magic scepter. The skeletons chuckled and surrounded Yi Baiming. The pink smoke gradually took the shape of a human. A burst of ecstasy rang out. The celestial fox people's naked women stroked their hair coquettishly and fawned over Yi Baiming, making one's face turn red and his heart beat faster. Countless treasures, magic tools, rare treasures, yellow robes, and all the beautiful dreams in the world appeared one by one in front of Yi Baiming's eyes. Power, desire, money, beautiful women, all the greediest desires of people were in this pink skull formation. How dare you show off your insignificant skills? Yi Baiming's gray eyes flashed with killing intent. Break! He roared and punched the air with both fists. Countless shadows of fists flew out. Behind Hu Bo, the 6 celestial fox people's priests felt as if their chests had been hit hard. They all vomited a mouthful of blood, and the magic scepters in their hands shattered. How is this possible? Hu Yining opened her mouth in disbelief. Her face changed slightly, and she retreated step by step. This man was completely immune to the pink skull formation. It was too ridiculous. In one day, there were 2 celestial fox people who were immune to illusions. Who were these 2 people? You don't come over. Hu Bo saw the man closing in on her step by step and felt a chill in her heart. This man, who was like the god of war, was incomparably cruel. He would not have the slightest bit of pity for the fairer sex. It's you. At this time, the other descendants of the Bakra orcs had already come out of the Dutian blood seal. The first to rush back were Zi Lu and He Linlin. Then, Qingya, Rita, and the others rushed back. He Linlin saw Yi Biming, while Lu saw the injured Yunsheng. The moment Lu saw Yunsheng, his heart skipped a beat. His gaze involuntarily fell on Yunsheng's injuries. However, when he saw Yunsheng's pale face and bloodstains on her body, Lu felt a sharp pain in his heart, and anger rose abruptly. Yunsheng was facing the descendants of the Bakra orcs. She also saw Lu. Humans? Only the two of them dare to barge in here. How arrogant. A few Bakra orcs' young men and women looked curiously at Yi Biming and Yunsheng, who was in his arms. Seeing Yi Biming carrying Yunsheng in such a domineering manner, Lu could not help but feel sour in his stomach. However, at the same time, he was also worried for Yunsheng. How would she barge in here? He Linlin, on the other hand, looked at Yi Biming. She did not expect that she would meet Yi Biming again so soon. However, she quickly noticed that Yunsheng was in Yi Biming's arms. Yunsheng's face, which was even more beautiful than the celestial fox people, and her special temperament made He Linlin take a few more glances at her. Seeing so many descendants of the Bakra orcs, Yi Biming also became alert. He did not know where this group of young men and women came from. Each of them had strong fighting energy and magic power. He alone was enough to escape. However, now that Yunsheng was injured, if this group of people surrounded him, it would be hard to say. You left just now because of her. He Linlin stared angrily at Yi Biming and Yunsheng in his arms. Chapter 753. He actually gave up such an important Qilin relic for a woman? He Linlin couldn't believe it. She didn't expect that the incomparably cold Yi Biming would give up the Qilin relic that was about to be in his hands just for a woman. Linlin, do you know this man? Seeing that everyone came back, Hu Linglong knew that her life was not in danger and was secretly delighted. She hurriedly hid behind He Linlin, seeking protection. Yunsheng also looked at He Linlin strangely. This short-haired woman who suddenly appeared seemed to be very familiar with Yi Biming. At the thought of this, Yunsheng felt a little uncomfortable at her heart. Her hand was suddenly caught. Yi Biming's palm covered her hand. His slender fingers scratched her palm. It seemed like he was explaining, but also seemed like he was comforting her. Yunsheng understood Yi Biming's meaning. He was telling her not to think too much. He and that woman had nothing to do with each other. Yunsheng's face turned red. She muttered, "Who cares about your relationship with that woman?" This was obviously a small action between lovers, but in the eyes of others, it had a different meaning. It was simply ignoring them and openly flirting. Especially in the eyes of He Linlin and Lu, it was especially dazzling. Lu's jealousy grew even more intense. He could also see that this man who looked like an emperor of the Dark Night had an unusual relationship with Yunsheng. This man actually made Yunsheng reveal a little woman's appearance. There was no trace of the calmness and viciousness from earlier in the cave. It was said that women were fickle. It turned out that a vicious woman could also be so timid and lovable. However, even though he knew that Yunsheng's heart might belong to someone else, there was a different kind of charm between her brows at this moment, which made Lu's heart beat. He was in a bad mood. He wanted nothing more than to kick Yi Biming away and snatch Yunsheng over so that he could pamper her. Yi Biming, let me ask you, did you reject me because of this woman? This was the first time He Linlin had been ignored like this. She was so angry that her face turned red as she glared at him. I'm asking you a question. Yunsheng wanted to shake off Yi Biming's hand, but he held it firmly and refused to let go. Yunsheng was obviously not used to such a public display of affection. Because of this strange atmosphere, the originally dangerous situation became even more strange. I'll ask you one more time. Did you give up the Qilin relic for this woman? He Linlin asked through gritted teeth. Yes. Yi Biming raised his eyebrows. How was she better than me? He Linlin pressed on step by step. She raised her head proudly. Yo, this woman is really shameless. She failed to confess in public, and even attacked him in public. Yunsheng glared at He Linlin. Okay, that woman's chest was bigger than hers, and she was also stronger than her. But that was also because she was still young. Let's wait for another 2 years and see how that woman would show off. No, Wait, why is she speaking like a resentful woman? Yunsheng suddenly thought of something. Damn fox, it's all his fault. He was born with a flirtatious face. First there was Chun Lianer, and now there's a Thunder Girl. Yunsheng. This guy also didn't realize that when it came to romantic encounters, her romantic encounter came earlier. At this moment, Lu was still staring at Yunsheng and Yi Baiming, who seemed to be intimate. If it weren't for the fact that there were other Bakra orcs present, Lu would have sharpened his knife and chopped off Yi Baiming's hand. Sheng was a little dissatisfied. The small hand that was being held by Yi Baiming pinched Yi Baiming's palm in revenge. Yi Baiming narrowed his eyes. He could vaguely feel Yun Sheng's jealousy. He wasn't angry. Instead, he was a little happy. This little wildcat was finally a little enlightened. Since that was the case, he should seize the opportunity and make use of He Linlin. Yi Baiming raised his eyebrows and smiled instantly. In my eyes, she's better than you in every aspect. If she wasn't strong, he could protect her. If she was stunted, he would be happy to teach her hands-on. Yi Baiming was extremely handsome. When he smiled, it was incomparably dazzling. It made the few women present feel as if they were hit by an electric current. Yi Baiming, you will regret it. Your purpose of entering the Qilin tomb is to become stronger. Be my man, and I can make you the strongest. He Linlin blurted out without blushing. What? He Linlin, are you crazy? He's a human. Qingyu was flustered and exasperated. He Linlin must be crazy. She actually went against the tribe's rules and expressed goodwill to a human man. He Linlin, as the saintess of the upper beast tribe among the Bakra orcs, had always been arrogant. However, she was beautiful and had good skills. Many people from the 8 Wastelands Beast Clan pursued her. Qingyu had pursued her before, but was coldly rejected by her. At that time, He Linlin said that only a man who defeated her could marry her. He didn't expect that she would express goodwill to a strange human man. For what rules? I, He Linlin, am the rule. He is strong enough and qualified to be my man. He Linlin raised her head confidently. Hearing this, Green's mind became active. If what He Linlin said was true, then could he also, you want me to be your man? You'll have to ask if my woman agrees to it first. Yi Baiming avoided the main point and deliberately squeezed Yun Sheng's hand hard again. The latter rolled her eyes. This guy was trying to frame her again. Your woman? He Linlin followed Yi Baiming's gaze and fell on Yun Sheng. Yun Sheng didn't even think. I have no objections. You can take this man if you want. As soon as the words left her mouth, Yun Sheng regretted it. The smile on Yi Baiming's lips faded bit by bit. His gray eyes were dark and gloomy, as if they were covered by dark clouds. It seems that your woman doesn't care much about you. He Linlin could see that Yun Sheng and Yi Baiming were not lovers. However, what was the special atmosphere between the two of them? There was a very special aura between Yun Sheng and Yi Baiming. This aura might not be the aura between lovers, but it was very difficult for others to integrate into that aura. After hearing Yun Sheng's words, the smile on Green's face deepened. His canine teeth were also exposed happily. The man in black had a very strong aura. However, it seemed that Yun Sheng didn't like him. Therefore, he still had a chance. He Linlin, there's no need to talk to him. These two people must know some secrets since they came here. Kill them. Rita snorted and took the lead to rush forward. The Beaming tribe was famous for their strength and speed among the Bakra orcs. Rita gathered her fighting spirit and rushed forward. However, she missed. Yi Baiming's figure flashed and disappeared with Yun Sheng. What's going on? Where did they go? Rita was confused. That man is not only a warrior, but also a magician. His magic cultivation is not low. He should have used some kind of magic. He Linlin was more concerned about Yi Baiming. They immediately split up and searched for Yi Baiming and Yun Sheng's whereabouts. Chapter 754. Yi Baiming, you are so overbearing. Don't you know that a melon picked by force is not sweet? Yun Sheng had wanted to explain, but Yi Baiming's rude tone made her feel depressed. Yun Sheng, this prince has enough patience with you. Don't challenge this prince's limits again and again. This prince only knows that a melon picked by force will not be sweet until it is tried. Yi Baiming's face darkened. His gaze was gloomy as it paused on Yin Sheng's chest. His hand still clearly remembered her sweetness. One day, he would pluck out all the claws and fangs of this lovable and headache-inducing little wildcat. He would make her happy under his body and obediently become his woman. Yin Sheng did not dare to make a sound after being glared at by him. She also felt that after entering the Dutian blood beast world, Yi Baiming was more aggressive than usual. If she really angered him, it would be terrible if he executed her on the spot. For safety's sake, it was better to change the topic. Why didn't you have any reaction to the pink skull formation? Yin Sheng's mind was in a mess. She could only force herself to change the topic. Yin Sheng had long suspected why Yi Baiming was not affected by Hu Linglong's pink skull formation. She was not affected because she was a descendant of Celestial Fox. But why was Yi Baiming completely immune? This prince does not like those women. Yi Baiming smiled wickedly. If it was you, this prince might have fallen for it. Even though she knew that the other party was up to no good, Yin Sheng still could not stop her eyes from reddening, especially when Yi Baiming glanced at her neck that was full of hickeys as he spoke. Ahem, we seem to have entered a strange boundary. Why didn't you run away just now? Yin Sheng blushed and cursed Yi Baiming for being shameless in her heart. She decided to avoid the important and dwell on the trivial. She decided to leave this place first. In any case, from now on, whenever she saw Yi Baiming, she would take a detour. After this experience, Yin Sheng felt that Yi Baiming had changed from a fox to a big bad wolf. She was the pitiful little Red Riding Hood, facing the danger of being eaten at any time. We should be in a certain area of the Dutian bloodstains, or perhaps a tomb of the Beast Kings. Yi Baiming also looked around with a serious expression. He could feel that this was a special enchantment. The magic fluctuations here were very similar to the Qilin tomb he had broken into earlier. At this time, the whole Dutian bloodstains was divided into two areas. One was the outer area of the Dutian bloodstains, and the other was the middle area of the Dutian bloodstains and the Dutian bloodstains. The middle area of the Dutian bloodstains had already been occupied by the descendants of the Bahuang tribe. Relatively speaking, the safer area was the Dutian bloodstains. Just now, Yi Baiming had fled with Yin Sheng in a moment of panic. They did not know which tomb of the Dutian bloodstains they had entered. Now that the two of them had calmed down, Yin Sheng also began to pay attention to her surroundings. She found that under her feet was an area similar to a magic seal. This is the core area of the Dutian bloodstains? The Dutian bloodstains? Yin Sheng then realized that she had accidentally entered the area that the second elder had strictly prohibited from entering. The Dutian bloodstains are divided into 8 areas, which are the 8 tombs of the Bakra orcs. They contain the bones of the 8 chiefs of the Bakra orcs. I just don't know which area we have entered in. Yi Baiming searched around for a while and frowned. What's wrong? Yin Sheng realized that something was wrong. Someone has set up a restriction here. When Yi Baiming had entered, there was no such restriction. But just now, he found that there was an additional layer of powerful magic around them. Perhaps his intrusion had caused the restriction of the Beast King's tomb to activate on its own. At this time, the 8 descendants of the Bakra orcs had arrived at the outer area of the Dutian bloodstains. They went to the south. If I'm not wrong, that's where the Celestial Fox tomb is located. He Linlin could feel the fluctuation of Yi Baiming's fighting energy. Then we can't enter. Hu Linglong, you go in. The others let Hu Linglong enter. Although the 8 barren tribes were one, places like the tombs of the chiefs had always been sacred places for each tribe. Those who were not from the tribe or the chiefs of other tribes were not allowed to enter. Otherwise, they could trigger the traps or magic seals in the Beast King tomb. Among all of them, only Hu Linglong was from the Celestial Fox tribe. This time, she represented the Celestial Fox people's saneness, so she was the most suitable person to enter. Hearing this, Hu Linglong's expression changed slightly. But under the watchful eyes of so many people, she could not refuse. She could only hesitate and walk towards the Celestial Fox bloodstains. But she had only taken a few steps and was about to enter the Celestial Fox bloodstains when she was pushed far away by an elastic force. "What's going on?" Hey Lin Lin and the others immediately walked forward. Green looked at it and said curiously, "Is this a seal?" Someone must have found the celestial fox relic and opened the seal on the celestial fox tomb. The chiefs of the 8 barren tribes were ancient powerhouses. Although they had been dead for many years, part of their magic power was still preserved in the Dutian bloodstains. The 8 barren relic, which represented most of their power, was still sealed in the Dutian bloodstains. Only when a suitable person entered would the relic be unearthed. Once the relic was unearthed, in order to prevent others from coveting it, the relic itself would form a powerful seal. Only those who were suitable for the relic could enter the seal. Previously, He Lin Lin and Yi Biming had entered the Qilin tomb and activated the Qilin relic. At that time, the Qilin tomb was also surrounded by a seal that prevented others from entering. Only after the Saraira was collected would that layer of restriction be opened. How is that possible? Hu Linglong hasn't even entered yet. Why would the Celestial Fox tomb automatically open the seal? When the others heard the news, they were all curious. They were all here for the relic. Just now, the other members of the Bakra orcs had already entered the corresponding Celestial Fox tomb and obtained their clan's relic. Only Hu Linglong had not entered the Celestial Fox tomb with the excuse of looking after the hostages. But now, she was rejected by the Celestial Fox tomb. Haha, needless to say, it must be some people who are not qualified to enter the Celestial Fox tomb. Rita saw this and sneered at the side. "Rita, what right do you have to criticize me? Everyone has only obtained the relic, and not the inheritance of the relic. What qualifications do you have?" I'm 80% sure that the two of them barged in recklessly. The Celestial Fox people was furious and sealed the Celestial Fox tomb to trap them inside. Hu Linglong was furious. Hu Linglong was actually muttering in her heart. She had come to the Duchian bloodstains this time as an imposter. She had thought that after obtaining the Celestial Fox relic, she would be able to replace her useless cousin and become the real Celestial Fox Saintess when she returned to her clan. When they heard the word trap, Green and He Lin Lin's expressions turned ugly. The clan leader of the Heavenly Fox clan, who went first, was a magic genius among the beast clans of the 8 wastelands who was proficient in all kinds of magic formations and all kinds of voodoo spells. The restrictive spell of the Heavenly Fox tomb was more difficult to break than the other beast tombs. If the seal was not broken, Yun Sheng and Yi Biming might really be trapped inside. Chapter 755. Hu Linglong was dreaming. She didn't know that she couldn't even break through the restrictions of the Celestial Fox tomb. That damn Celestial Fox people's chief. She had been dead for so many years, yet she still wanted to get in her way. However, Hu Linglong wasn't particularly worried. After all, the Celestial Fox Saraira could only be inherited by someone with the bloodline of Celestial Fox. The two people inside could only wait for death. Once the restrictions were removed, she could enter the Celestial Fox tomb. At that time, the Celestial Fox Saraira would still be hers. Yun Sheng and Yi Biming didn't know that they were in the tomb of the Celestial Fox people's chief. The tomb of Celestial Fox. The two searched for a long time, but still couldn't find any way out. They also couldn't figure out where this area was. However, one thing was for sure. The restrictions in this tomb were very powerful. Yi Biming tried a few times. No matter if he used magic or fighting aura, he couldn't break through the restrictions. In an instant, Yun Sheng and he were like turtles in a jar. Why did you suddenly appear in the Duqian blood beast world? Yun Sheng saw that Yi Biming had mentioned the Qilin tomb. It seemed that he had already been to one of the tombs. I'm here to look for blood crystals. My mentor told me that there are blood crystals in the 8 barren tomb that can improve one's Dharma soul and physique. I've already been to the Black Qilin tomb. That's where I met He Lin Lin. This tomb is a little strange. Yi Biming looked around. He found that the Celestial Fox tomb was a little different from the Qilin tomb. According to Ghost Prison's mentor, there should be blood crystals in the Beast King tomb. However, there was nothing in this tomb. The Qilin tomb was majestic. It was like the tomb of an emperor. Logically speaking, the other tombs of the Bakra orcs should be the same. However, in this unknown tomb of the Beast King, it was a flat land, and the space was very spacious. Aside from the strange magic array on the ground, there was nothing else. There were no blood crystals, nor were there any signs indicating the location of the Beast King's remains. Then did you find the Qilin blood crystal? Yinsheng also knew that Yi Baiming was very powerful now. From what He Linlin said, Yi Baiming must have found something more powerful than the blood crystal. However, at that time, she was in trouble. Yi Baiming sensed it and came to save her. He was originally someone who pursued the path of the strongest. As long as he could obtain the Qilin relic, he would be able to raise his cultivation to the next level. However, for her sake, Yinsheng's heart was sour and sweet. She didn't know what to feel. Don't worry, the blood crystal has been found. Yi Baiming did not want Yinsheng to think too much. Even without the Qilin relic, he could still become a supreme expert. The two of them walked in the unfamiliar tomb of the Beast King, but they still did not find any clues. Are we going to be trapped here until we die? Yinsheng was a little discouraged. She did not expect to die in a place like this. No, I won't let you die. Yi Baiming looked at the restriction again. He unconsciously clenched his fists. If it really came down to it, he was afraid that he would use Beast Blood Frenzy to force open that layer of restriction. However, being in the Dutian blood mark with such a strong murderous aura, Yi Baiming could not guarantee what he would look like after the Beast Blood Frenzy. If that happened, it might scare little Wildcat. He could not let her see his true face for the time being. As Yi Baiming spoke, Yunsheng suddenly exclaimed. She stepped on something. There was a flash of light, and Yunsheng was immersed in the light. Yunsheng. Yi Baiming hurriedly pulled her, but it was too late. Yunsheng disappeared in the light. Yunsheng only felt that she was falling from the sky, falling down in an instant. She could hear Yi Baiming's voice, but soon, Yi Baiming's shouts disappeared. A graveyard appeared in front of her. When she saw the graveyard, Yunsheng could not help but praise it. Earlier, she and Yi Baiming had been wondering why there was no graveyard of the Beast King in the tomb of the Beast King. It turned out that it was not that there was no graveyard, but that the location of the graveyard had been concealed by a special magic array. It was a dome-shaped white graveyard made of white marble. Beside the graveyard was a small pond. In the pond, there was a plain white pond lotus. Yunsheng walked to the front of the unknown graveyard. There were a few simple and unadorned words at the entrance of the graveyard. Yunsheng did not recognize these words, but she was sure that these were not the words of any country in the Boundless Continent. Puffed Egg, my dear master, Puffed Egg recognizes these words. In the beast language ring, the Puffed Egg became active again. Yunsheng remembered that the Puffed Egg was left to her by her mother. Perhaps it knew some words of the Bakr orcs. The Puffed Egg flapped its wings and jumped to the front of the graveyard. It took a look and recognized the three words. Celestial Fox Graveyard. Master, this is the graveyard of the greatest sorcerer of the Celestial Fox people in the 8 Barren tribes. Yinsheng could not help but sigh. She did not expect that she would accidentally enter the graveyard of the Celestial Fox Graveyard. However, why would this Celestial Fox Graveyard use a magic array to conceal the Celestial Fox Graveyard? It seemed that if she wanted to know the secrets of the Celestial Fox Graveyard, she would have to go deep into the Celestial Fox Graveyard. She walked to the graveyard stone door and pushed it with her hand. No matter how much strength she used, the stone door would not open. Master, drip your blood into the lotus pond at the side. Only the descendants of the Celestial Fox Graveyard can enter a place like the Celestial Fox Graveyard, the Puffed Egg reminded Yunsheng. Yunsheng walked to the lotus pond and cut her finger. When her blood dripped into the lotus pond, the originally calm lotus pond began to bubble. The half-open lotuses in the pond suddenly bloomed. The petals of the white lotus pond were also dyed red, looking exceptionally enchanting. The moment the lotus pond bloomed, the originally silent stone door made a creaking sound and opened spontaneously. Yunsheng walked into the graveyard. As soon as Yunsheng stepped in, the stone door closed automatically. Outside the graveyard, the lotus pond, which looked as if it had been tempered by blood, returned to its original state. It was white and clear, as if no one had ever been here. Yun Sheng hesitated, then knelt down and kowtowed 3 times to the celestial fox graveyard. Ancestor Celestial Fox Graveyard, Yun Sheng also has your blood flowing in her veins. Today, she was besieged by enemies, so she accidentally entered your graveyard. Yun Sheng is trapped here and needs to find an exit as soon as possible. If I disturb your peace, please forgive me. Yun Sheng did not enter rashly. After confirming that there was no poisonous gas in the graveyard, she walked in with a puffed egg. As soon as she entered the graveyard, Yun Sheng was stunned. It was another empty room. Other than some bones on the ground, there was nothing else. Yun Sheng was a little surprised. After taking a closer look, she realized that this room was a little special. Chapter 756. It was an ordinary house with 4 walls and 1 door. This spacious stone house also had 4 walls, but there were 4 doors. The doors were ordinary stone doors. Other than the west door that Yun Sheng had entered through, the other 3 doors were the east, south, and north doors. The 3 stone doors were tightly shut and looked like they had not been opened for a long time. Pop, pop! Master! These doors were left behind by the Celestial Fox people. There is a way out behind one of the doors, but if you want to find the way out, you have to open all the stone doors. Puffed egg circled around the doors. As for the skeletons, they must have been the same as Yun Sheng, who had entered the Celestial Fox tomb by chance. It looked like this Celestial Fox ancestor was much trickier than the other Beast Kings. It was not easy to get out of here. Yun Sheng smiled bitterly. Those skeletons must have been left behind by the people who had not opened all 3 doors and were unable to leave the Celestial Fox tomb. Yun Sheng examined the skeletons and the magic scepter at the side. To her surprise, she discovered that some of the skeletons had reached the level of a sanctuary-level guardian king. Most of them were around the level of a sky sorcerer. Even these people were trapped here. She did not know what kind of monsters would appear behind the 3 doors. Yun Sheng looked at the hourglass in her beast language ring. It had been more than a day and a night since she had entered the central area of the Dutian blood beast world. A total of 16 hours. She still had some antidote pills, a bag of water, and some blood-toothed crocodile meat in her ring. In total, she could only hold on for about 3 more days. No matter what, she had to give it a try. The method to open the stone door was similar to the first door. She just had to smear blood on the stone door. Yun Sheng thought for a while and chose the door with the least skeletons, which was the south door. The blood dripped onto the stone door and was quickly absorbed by the stone door that had been thirsty for countless years. Ka. The moment the stone door opened. Then, 6 black shadows rushed out from inside. They were a few black tortoise warriors that were over 3 meters tall and made of black basalt. These martial artists had a soul stone embedded in their eyes and their foreheads. They exuded a murderous aura from head to toe. Yun Sheng was not too surprised to see these stone monsters. Puffed Egg had also said that the chief of the Celestial Fox people was a great magician. Moreover, in the Bahuang tribe, the Celestial Fox people were proficient in witchcraft and medicine. As the leader of the Celestial Fox people, there might be a large number of strange creatures in the tomb. Black tortoise warriors were a special invention of the Celestial Fox people. Although they were not alive, they had the same 5 senses as humans. Other than being unable to feel pain and having a tough body, they could keenly detect enemies and launch attacks. High-level Xian martial warriors could even unleash certain battle techniques. These martial artists were even stronger than the devil warriors that Yi Baiming had given to Yun Sheng earlier. Without waiting for Yun Sheng to think, the black tortoise warrior attacked Yun Sheng. The moment the stone door opened, the black tortoise warrior sensed that someone had broken into the tomb. The soul stones on their foreheads flashed. They raised their indestructible iron fists and punched towards Yun Sheng. Yun Sheng relied on her superior movements and dodged the attack. However, the black tortoise warrior's strong and fierce fist wind still scraped past Yun Sheng's cheek, causing her cheeks to hurt. As if they knew that their opponent was agile, the 6 black tortoise warriors changed their strategy. They surrounded Yunsheng and punched her several times. They reacted quickly and punched one after another. In an instant, there were punches flying around Yunsheng. If she was not careful, Yunsheng would be hit. Yunsheng leaped up and aimed the magic scepter in her hand at one of the black tortoise warriors. She shot out a fiery explosion. Boom! The fiery explosion hit the black tortoise warrior's body. However, the raging flames had no effect on these monsters made of stone. Yunsheng's attack did not hit, but she lost the initiative. Although the black tortoise warriors had keen senses, they were not fast. Their slow reactions were their fatal weakness. Yunsheng swept her long leg and used the force to push back a few steps. After escaping the encirclement, Yunsheng chanted. Black thorns exploded on the ground. The black tortoise warrior staggered, and his heavy body crashed to the ground. Yunsheng took advantage of the momentum to fly up, and a magic scepter in her hand shot out streaks of flame explosion. The fiery explosion shattered the soul stones on the foreheads of the black tortoise warriors. Once the soul stones exploded, the black tortoise warriors lost their ability to move and became dead stones. Huff huff, Yunsheng panted heavily. She was injured earlier and had not recovered from her injuries. After this ordeal, she was drenched in sweat and was extremely tired. Yunsheng could use her summoning beasts, but she thought that she didn't know what kind of perverted opponents were hiding behind the 2 doors. It was better to save her summoning beasts for a life-saving situation. Clatter, clatter. Just when Yunsheng thought that she could rest for a while, the black tortoise warriors started moving again. The soul stones on their foreheads that had been shattered were restored to their original state. Damn, they can't be so crazy. They're going to torture us to death. Yunsheng stomped her foot, but in the next moment, Yunsheng heaved a sigh of relief. After the black tortoise warriors recovered, they did not attack again. They waited quietly beside the stone door. The stone door that was originally closed was now open. Hesitating, Yunsheng walked through the south door. Her eyes lit up. Behind the south door was a secret room that was about 10 square meters in size. In the secret room, there were all kinds of transparent crystals of different sizes and colors. Celestial fox blood crystals. Legend had it that they were the best magical crystals that contained a large portion of the celestial fox people's powers. There were many white blood crystals. Roughly counting, there were hundreds of them. Yunsheng casually picked up a piece and held it in her hand. A strong magical power was transmitted from the crystal. Such pure blood crystals. Yunsheng was shocked. Blood crystals were different from soul stones. The magical power in the soul stones of magical beasts mostly contained the violent aura of magical beasts, so it was difficult to absorb. But the Beast King blood crystals were different. They were gentler, and the magical power they contained was purer. The owner of this unknown tomb was once the chief of one of the 8 barren tribes. He must have been an outstanding magician. That was why its tomb was able to preserve so many blood crystals even after 2 years. Yunsheng's heart skipped a beat. She took out the soul cleansing pill and immediately sat down cross-legged. Holding a magical crystal in each hand, she began to meditate. The magical power in the white blood crystals seeped into Yunsheng's body bit by bit. This feeling was unprecedented. The magical power flowed into Yunsheng's body like a trickle. Her 8 extraordinary meridians seemed to have been widened and cleared in an instant. About 2 to 3 hours later, ding, a melodious sound rang out. Yunsheng felt her body lighten. After a while, Yunsheng slowly breathed in and out and opened her eyes. I finally broke through to become a sky magician. The volcano erupted. I'm going to sleep. With the support of tickets, rewards, and subscriptions, if there's a surprise tomorrow morning, I might even add more. Good night, everyone. Chapter 757. After breaking through to become a sky sorcerer, Yunsheng concentrated part of her magical power on her back, and a pair of magical wings appeared on her back. Finally, I don't have to fly with puffed eggs, ugly wings anymore. Yun Sheng sighed. Her words caused the puffed egg's strong dissatisfaction. Becoming a sky sorcerer was a threshold for a sorcerer on the mainland. After becoming a sorcerer would be able to use magic more freely and even touch the threshold of profound magic. After Yun Sheng broke through, she realized that her sensitivity towards magical elements had greatly increased. Yun Sheng scanned her surroundings again and realized that there were also many skeletons in this stone chamber. Some of them had even died beside the magical crystals. Although magic crystals were good, one could not be too greedy. Those who had successfully defeated the Black Tortoise warriors had probably absorbed too many magic crystals in one go after entering the stone room due to their greed. Their bodies had exploded and they had died in the surroundings. She looked around and looked at the blood crystals. She could not digest so many Beast King blood crystals alone. It would be a waste if she just left them here. Yun Sheng thought of her magical beasts. After all, these blood crystals were Beast King blood crystals and could be used by her magical beasts. About an hour passed just like that. The blood crystals in the tomb of the unknown Beast King had been swept clean by Yun Sheng and her little magical beasts. Yun Sheng had a few jade boxes with her and collected 10 of the best quality blood crystals. The rest were all absorbed by her magical beasts. Among them, the puffed egg absorbed the most blood crystals. Just the puffed egg alone had absorbed 20 blood crystals. Moreover, it seemed that the puffed egg liked the blood crystals very much. If Yun Sheng had not stopped it, it would have continued to absorb the blood crystals. After absorbing the blood crystals, the rest of the demonic beasts experienced different levels of advancement. Among the magical beasts Yun Sheng currently possessed from low to high, there were the 9th grade Xiaohei, the low-level commander-level 100-legged ant general, the mid-level commander-level night demon queen, the high-level commander-level elven little queen, and the puffed egg of unknown grade. Apart from Bobo, the other magical beasts had all advanced. The 100-legged ant general had advanced to mid-level commander, while the night demon queen had also broken through to high-level commander. However, the ones who changed the most were the little elven queen and Xiaohei. Ever since the little elven queen woke up, she had the appearance of a little lowly. After absorbing 4 celestial fox blood crystals, she had grown up quite a bit. She was now a 13 or 14-year-old girl, and her rank had also increased to the early stage of the king stage. As for Xiaohei, her transformation was even greater. Her body was originally larger than a normal dog, but now she had grown to the size of a calf. From the looks of it, she was actually comparable to the wolf form of Green Fong from the Green Netherwolf tribe. After collecting all the celestial fox blood crystals, Yun Sheng walked out of the stone room. The black martial artist warriors walked back into the stone room, and the stone door closed once again. What a pity. It's a pity that I don't know how to control them. Otherwise, I would have really picked up a treasure by having these warriors. Yun Sheng looked at these black martial artist warriors. For some reason, she felt that the way these black martial artist warriors were controlled was very similar to the way Yi Baiming used to control the demon martial artist warriors. The first door was closed. Yun Sheng had to break through the second door. According to the number of skeletons, this time, Yun Sheng chose the north door. After the north door opened, Yun Sheng waited for a moment. However, this time, the north door was not like the south door, where no monsters came out. Yun Sheng walked through the north door curiously. Behind the north door was another stone room. However, there were no celestial fox blood crystals or anything else in this stone room. In the middle of the stone room, there was a magic scepter. There were 8 magic soul stones inlaid on a magic scepter. This meant that this was the magic scepter of a deity. Yun Sheng could not help but hold her breath. Although it had been 5,000 years, this magic scepter was still in good condition. Other than a few traces of dried blood on the scepter, the entire scepter was almost completely intact. The 8 soul stones were also in good condition. This was a magic scepter with a perfect configuration. The scepter itself was made from the bones of an unknown 1,000-year-old magical beast. The first soul stone was already a 500-year-old soul stone. As for the eighth soul stone, it looked like a super magical beast soul stone that was tens of thousands of years old. Yinsheng could not help but swallow her saliva. For any mage, this was a magic scepter that they dreamed of. This was also the same reaction that all mages had after seeing this magic scepter. Step by step, Yunsheng approached the magic scepter. She held the magic scepter in her hand and wanted to pull it out. However, just as Yunsheng held the magic scepter, the last soul stone at the top of the magic scepter lit up. A pink smoke spurted out from the soul stone. Yunsheng only felt her body stiffen. Beneath her feet, petrified inch by inch. Oh no! This magic scepter was set with an earth element petrification spell. However, as soon as the puffed egg approached, the magic scepter spurted out another pink smoke. In an instant, the puffed egg was petrified into a stone egg. Yinsheng was very anxious. In just a moment, her lower body had already turned into stone. The petrification was still spreading. If this continued, she would be completely petrified in another 15 minutes. Sweat trickled down Yunsheng's forehead. Pink smoke. Yunsheng's heart skipped a beat. She immediately took out the Millennium Ice Zither from the orc language ring. She shook the zither strings. Like flowing water, the sound of the zither flowed out from Yunsheng's fingers. Knowing that the power of the magic scepter was not to be underestimated, Yunsheng used the last bit of magical power she had left and played the sixth chapter of Dihong. As she played the zither, Yunsheng suppressed the fear in her mind and recalled the demon-sealing zither that the dark gold-rank teacher had modified for her. When the two were combined together, the sound of a war song filled with courage. Amidst the sound of the zither, Yunsheng only felt that the fear in her heart from earlier was disappearing bit by bit. Woo woo woo, my dearest master. A terrifying cry sounded in her ears. Yunsheng came back to her senses. She realized that the puffed egg was really flying around her nonstop. Her tears flowed like a river. The puffed egg was in the stone room, jumping up and down. Suddenly, it realized that its master was holding the magic scepter and did not move for a long time. It wanted to pull at her, but was repelled by the power of the magic scepter. Just as the puffed egg was crying in fear, Yunsheng suddenly took out the ice zither and played the Dihong song. Only then did the terrifying illusion of the magic scepter dissipate. Yunsheng looked at her lower body. There was no longer any petrification. Yunsheng put down the ice zither and broke out in cold sweat. It turned out that the petrification just now, including the petrification of the puffed egg, was just an illusion released by the magic scepter. Chapter 758. If Yunsheng had not recalled the pink smoke at the last moment, which was somewhat similar to Hu Linglong's pink skull array, and suspected that she had fallen into the celestial fox people's illusion spell, she would have really lost her life here. She looked at the magic scepter again, which was still stuck in the ground. This illusion spell was also an illusion spell like Hu Linglong's pink skull array, but it was more terrifying than the pink skull array. The pink skull array would at most make people become muddle-headed and indulge in wine, women, wealth, and arrogance, unable to extricate themselves. However, the petrification spell contained in the magic scepter could scare people to death. After breaking the petrification spell, Yunsheng finally saw the situation in the stone room clearly. The whole stone room was actually filled with piles of white bones. Without exception, the white bones were all crawling beside the magic scepter, trying to grab the magic scepter. Human nature was greedy. All the mages who entered this stone room only saw the perfect magic scepter, but they did not expect that this magic scepter could not be controlled at all if one did not have enough strength. The magic scepter itself did not have any power, but the petrification spell it contained was really powerful. These people were all scared to death in the fear of being petrified. Don't be greedy. I'm afraid that only its owner can control this damn magic scepter. I almost died here. This thing is really harmful. Yunsheng sighed and pulled out the magic scepter. Unexpectedly, as soon as she pulled out the magic scepter, a floor tile on the ground loosened. Yunsheng was curious and moved the floor tile with a magic scepter stuck in it away. Under the floor tile, there was a hidden compartment, and there was a very old-looking magic scroll in it. Pop, pop. Master, it records a voodoo spell of the celestial fox people called the corpse puppet spell. Puffed Egg read the magic scroll. The corpse puppet spell was one of the oldest voodoo spells of the celestial fox people. The conditions to practice the corpse puppet spell were extremely harsh. It had to meet 3 conditions. Firstly, the cultivator must be of the celestial fox people's bloodline. If an outsider were to cultivate it, his soul would definitely explode and he would die. Secondly, the cultivator must have a firm mind, or else it would be easy to be controlled by the shaman puppet and devour the soul. Thirdly, the trainee must be a summoner. Only when all 3 were satisfied could the corpse puppet technique be carried forward. After Yun Sheng finished reading, she thought to herself that this corpse puppet technique seemed to be tailor-made for her. She just happened to satisfy all 3 of them. It was as if everything was predestined. Oh, could it be that the patriarch of the celestial fox people who built this tomb of the celestial fox people was also a dark magician? Yun Sheng discovered that the corpse puppet technique was indeed extraordinary after reading the magic scroll. It was called corpse puppet, which meant that it was very different from modern hypnotism. However, it was much more powerful than hypnotism. Not only could it control living people, it could also control dead objects. In some cases, it could even instigate a summoner's magical beast to rebel. After comprehending the magic once, Yun Sheng decided that she would practice on those black tortoise-level warriors after leaving this place. Yun Sheng immediately committed the corpse puppet technique to memory. After storing the magic scroll into the beast speech ring, Yun Sheng also kept the magic scepter. If there were no surprises, this magic scepter should belong to the patriarch of the celestial fox people. Yun Sheng wanted to go deeper into the celestial fox tomb. Yun Sheng had a premonition that she might need to use this magic scepter on her journey. Yun Sheng left the stone room and returned to the south gate first. She used the corpse puppet technique on those black tortoise-level warriors. To her surprise, the corpse puppet technique was effective after just a little bit of use. These black tortoise-level warriors without intelligence immediately became Yun Sheng's subordinates. Yun Sheng stored all 6 black tortoise-level warriors into the beast speech ring. She arrived at the last gate, which was the east gate. The gate seems a little different. After opening the 3rd gate, the 4th gate, which was the last gate, changed. A fox appeared on the gate. Although it was only carved on the gate, the carving was lifelike. It had thick fur and a pair of eyes that were as vivid as a human's. This fox was different from the usual fox magical beasts. It walked upright and had a graceful posture, vaguely resembling a young girl. However, what caught Yun Sheng's attention the most was that the fox on the gate actually had 6 tails. Yun Sheng had long heard that the length of magical beasts. Some magical beasts' heads, tails, and even the number of limbs represented their bloodline and strength. For example, Yun Sheng's Xiaohei was once a 2-headed dog. Its grade was much higher than the usual canines. There was also the 100-legged ant general. After it absorbed the celestial fox blood crystal, its cultivation level increased greatly. Its original 100-legged body evolved into more than 120 legs. The cubs of the celestial fox people were born with only 1 tail. However, as their cultivation level increased, especially when their Dharma soul became stronger, they would grow a new tail. The secret passage to the tomb of the celestial fox should be behind this gate. Yun Sheng was nervous. The last gate opened. Once the gate opened, a heavy smell wafted out. Compared to the other gates, the last gate had been sealed for a longer time. Yun Sheng did not know that she was the only person in the 5,000 years since the tomb of the celestial fox was built to enter the last gate. Even some of the pure-blooded celestial fox descendants who came to the tomb of the celestial fox could not survive the petrification illusion behind the 3rd gate. Behind the last gate was another stone room. In the stone room, there was a statue. It was a statue of a woman. When one looked at it, they could not help but hold their breath. It was the celestial fox people's statue. It was a woman whose age could not be determined. She had the beauty of a young girl and the dignity of a married woman. Her hair was beautiful, and her figure was well-proportioned. Although it was just a statue, the woman's face was beautiful and her beautiful eyes were vivid. It was unknown who had carved this statue. However, it could be seen that the person who carved this statue must have admired this woman very much. He had portrayed the woman's charm very well. Even a layman like Yun Sheng could not help but be attracted by this statue when she saw it. However, what surprised Yun Sheng the most was that this woman looked very similar to her mother, Hu Jiuxing. In other words, this woman looked very similar to Yun Sheng. It was just that she looked slightly older than Yun Sheng. However, although the woman was beautiful, there was a trace of sorrow between her brows. She looked to the east as if she was hoping for something. She did not have a magic scepter in her hand. She is the chief of the celestial fox people. Yun Sheng saw a stone tablet on the left side of the statue. This is the tomb of the chief of the celestial fox people, Hu Yin. Outsiders are not allowed to trespass into the tomb of the celestial fox. Otherwise, they will be subjected to the 8 wilderness beast blood curse, and their souls will be destroyed. The chief of the celestial fox people was called Hu Yin. From her appearance, she might even be related to Yun Sheng and Yun Sheng's mother, Hu Jiuxing. Chapter 759. Keep looking and see if you can find the exit to the tomb of Celestial Fox. Yun Sheng urged Puffed Egg. Yun Sheng had been transported in by a magic array, so there must be an exit here. Night Fox was probably going crazy with anxiety. Pop, pop. Master, it says here that if you want to find the exit, you must first find the Celestial Fox Sarira. Puffed Egg's words disappointed Yun Sheng. The Celestial Fox Sarira was also where most of the cultivation of the Celestial Fox people's leader, Hu Yin, was located. But in such a large tomb, where should she go to find the Celestial Fox Sarira? Yun Sheng looked around, and there seemed to be a voice in her heart telling her to walk to the front of the statue. Yun Sheng took out the magic scepter. This originally belonged to Hu Yin, and it was time to return it to its rightful owner. When a magic scepter was returned to Hu Yin, the Celestial Fox people's leader, Hu Yin, changed. A soft light emitted from Hu Yin's forehead, and a raindrop-shaped crystal floated out. The Celestial Fox Sarira was the most precious treasure of the Celestial Fox people. It contained the cultivation of the strongest leader in Celestial Fox history, Hu Yin. Yun Sheng did not expect that she would obtain the Celestial Fox Sarira when she entered the tomb rashly. The Celestial Fox Sarira fell into her hand, and Yun Sheng felt a burst of warmth. Whether it was the Sarira or the Celestial Fox statue, Yun Sheng felt a sense of familiarity. It was as if she had known this woman of the Celestial Fox people for a long time. The Celestial Fox Sarira spun in Yun Sheng's hand for a moment, and then suddenly burrowed into Yun Sheng's palm and disappeared. Oh no, what's going on? Yun Sheng was shocked and quickly looked at her palm. Her hand was fine, but the Sarira had disappeared, as if it had been swallowed by her body. But her body did not feel anything strange. The Sarira had completely disappeared. After the Heavenly Fox relic disappeared, a cracking sound came from under the statue of the Heavenly Fox clan leader, who below the originally motionless statue, a black hole that could accommodate one person appeared. A passage. Yun Sheng was overjoyed. She quickly jumped into the black hole and left the tomb of the Celestial Fox. At the same time, Yi Baiming was on the verge of madness within the Heavenly Fox burial ground. No matter how hard he searched, he could not find the whereabouts of Yun Sheng. Yi Baiming had tried all kinds of methods, even a unicorn's binding magic, but he could not find the whereabouts of Yun Sheng. This feeling was as if Yun Sheng had disappeared. An unprecedented fear, a fear that he might lose Yun Sheng forever, was like a viper entangling Yi Baiming. His heart, which had always been calm, was in chaos. Yi Baiming's gray eyes were dyed with a layer of red light. This damned restriction, where exactly did it hide Yun Sheng? Like a lone wolf who had lost its lover, Yi Baiming angrily roared. Damn it, give her back to me. Yi Baiming's gray eyes were bloodshot, and he had a bloodthirsty impulse. The duki in his body was like a candle flame blown by a gale, wildly pulsing. Bang! A punch landed heavily on the restriction of Celestial Fox's tomb. A repulsive force came from the restriction, and Yi Baiming's hand was fiercely repelled. The Celestial Fox restriction was set up by the most powerful patriarch of the Celestial Fox people, Hu Yin. Its power, even after 5,000 years, had not decreased in the slightest. The restriction reflected Yi Baiming's duki back to him, but Yi Baiming did not care about this at all. He roared, knelt on one knee in the direction where the magic array had disappeared, and punched heavily. When that punch landed, black scales appeared on Yi Baiming's left arm. Punch after punch, the restriction of the entire Celestial Fox's tomb shook. That terrifying duki, accompanied by a terrifying duki, actually affected the entire Dutian blood seal. The few people guarding outside the Celestial Fox's tomb, including He Linlin, Lu, Celestial Fox, Hu Linglong, and Rita, all felt a terrifying duki erupting like a volcano. The murderous aura above the Dutian blood seal began to twist, causing the entire seal to tremble. What's going on? Bang! 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 The Dutian blood seal became even more unstable. Cracks began to appear on the Celestial Fox's restriction. The situation inside could be vaguely seen from outside. They only saw a tall man half kneeling on the ground, and his fists repeatedly smashed into the Celestial Fox's restriction. "Give her back to me." The man's desperate roar was like a tidal wave, endless and unending. He Linlin's heart shook when she saw the man's arm. Lu couldn't help but rush towards the Celestial Fox's restriction. He didn't see Yun Sheng. Could it be that something happened to Yun Sheng? The Celestial Fox's restriction became more and more unstable. Under the influence of Yi Baiming's duki, the entire restriction was constantly twisting and changing. The magic fluctuations inside were also becoming weaker and weaker. Crazy. This person must be crazy. He wants to destroy the Celestial Fox's tomb. Hu Linglong's face was pale with fright. The Celestial Fox's restriction was becoming more and more unstable, as if it would collapse at any time. If the Celestial Fox's restriction was destroyed, the Dutian blood seal would inevitably suffer heavy damage. However, the Celestial Fox's tomb would also collapse. Hu Linglong still hadn't found the Celestial Fox's Sarira, so she couldn't sit back and watch Yi Baiming destroy the Celestial Fox's tomb. However, Hu Linglong couldn't enter the restriction. She could only watch as the restriction disintegrated inch by inch under the crazy man's fist. Heavens, what kind of monster is that? He actually destroyed the Celestial Fox's restriction, which is known as the strongest magic restriction. Rita, the descendant of the Baiming clan, said with her mouth wide open. Rita remembered that she almost fought with that monster man earlier. She thought that the strength of that guy was higher than her. Boom! Yi Baiming punched heavily again. His fist was no longer in shape. His skin burst, and his flesh was badly mangled. However, he still didn't feel any pain. In his ears, there was a sound like glass shattering, followed by a series of gasps. The Celestial Fox's restriction was actually broken by brute force. Yi Baiming, you're crazy. You'll hurt yourself like this. He Linlin rushed forward, wanting to help Yi Baiming. However, just as her hand touched Yi Baiming's hand, the latter fiercely flung her hand away. Yi Baiming slowly stood up. You? He Linlin clearly saw Yi Baiming's appearance at this time. She couldn't help but be stunned. Yi Baiming's eyes had turned blood red, as if something was blocking his eyes. There was no focus in his eyes at all. He looked like a blind man. He couldn't see or hear anything. At this time, Yi Baiming only wanted to find Yun Sheng. Where is Yun Sheng? Damn it. Why didn't you take good care of her? Ignoring the strange gazes of the crowd, Lu rushed forward, grabbed Yi Baiming's collar, and questioned him sternly. Where is she? Yi Baiming only repeated this sentence, as if he was in a dream. Without her, even if he stood at the top of the world, what could he do? This is the bonus for everyone's monthly votes for this month. 50+1 update. Chapter 760. Suddenly, Yi Biming roared and slammed his shoulder into Green, sending him flying. It's you. You're the ones who caused Yun Sheng's disappearance. I'll kill you all. He roared at the sky, his throat emitting a bestial roar. That roar was very special. It sounded like a dragon's roar, but also like a tiger's roar. His voice spread far and wide. When a nearby blood cloud beasts heard this roar, they were so scared that they didn't dare to move. Around his body, fighting aura danced like swords. In his eyes, there was nothing but killing intent. The murderous aura in the surroundings surged toward Yi Biming like a cat that had caught the scent of blood. As the murderous aura increased, the fighting aura on Yi Biming's body also increased. Beast blood berserk. Catch him first, he's gone mad. Green was alert. He also noticed that Yi Biming's beast blood berserk was different from ordinary people. However, how could Yi Biming hear this? He released the battle aura on his body crazily and attacked them. Don't hurt him. I want this man. Hei Lin Lin had a strange expression. It seemed like she was pleasantly surprised, but also afraid. The four of them rushed forward and used all kinds of magic and battle skills. However, how could Yi Biming be so easy to capture? With the help of the blood chi, although he was in a frenzy, the do chi on his body was becoming more and more vigorous, continuous, and difficult to deal with. The do chi in his body seemed to be inexhaustible and inexhaustible. The do chi that entered his body burst out again. For a moment, the sky was dark and the earth was dark. At this time, Yun Sheng had already left the tomb of Celestial Fox. She didn't know that Yi Biming had fallen into an unprecedented state of danger. After Yun Sheng entered the black hole, she groped around until she saw a glimmer of light. Then she climbed out. We're finally able to see the light of day again. I really thought that we would be trapped to death in there. Yun Shenggang sighed emotionally. Why are you alone? Where did that arrogant man go? Behind him, a cold voice sounded. Yun Sheng turned around and saw that not far away, Qingya of the Green Nether Wolf tribe and a pack of ferocious blood crystal wolves were looking at her with green eyes. Earlier, Yun Sheng and Yi Biming had suddenly disappeared. In order to prevent them from exposing the matter of the Beast King relic, the 8 Desolation descendants had split into 2 groups. Hei Lin Lin, Lulu, Rita, and Hu Linglong entered the Dutian blood seal in the core area. Purple, Green Tooth, and the others headed to the middle of the Dutian blood beast world to intercept them. Qingyao led his wolf pups to search the entire way, but they failed to find Yi Biming and Yun Sheng. Just as he was about to turn back, the wolf pups discovered traces of Yun Sheng. Yun Sheng also did not expect that the secret passage of Celestial Fox's tomb would lead directly to the middle of the Dutian blood beast world. It looked like she had already escaped, but she did not know how Yi Biming was doing. TSK. I remember now. Earlier in the middle, it was you who killed dozens of my blood crystal wolves. Qingyao felt that Yun Sheng looked familiar. After thinking carefully, he remembered that she was in Lan's team. He had a deeper impression of Yun Sheng. Although she was not strong, the way she killed the wolves was very tricky. The Green Nether Wolf tribe belonged to the middle level of the 8 Desolation tribes. They were one of the more powerful magical beasts. But in terms of magical beasts, the wolf tribe was not the most powerful among the magical beasts. As warriors of the wolf tribe, whether it was hunting enemies or catching prey, they were very particular about technique. That was why Qingyao noticed Yun Sheng. When she hunted the wolf pack, she was completely using technique. I remember now. Aren't you that little puppy who fled after being beaten by Sister Lan? Yun Sheng also noticed that there were a large number of blood crystal wolves around. It looked like there would be a fierce battle soon. Puppy, you dare to call me a puppy? Human, you must be tired of living. I am from the noble Green Nether Wolf tribe, Qingyao said fiercely. Yun Sheng noticed that his wounds had already healed, and his abilities seemed to have improved compared to before. It had only been a day or so. How did his abilities seem to have improved so much? Yun Sheng could not help but be shocked. However, after thinking about it again, Yun Sheng understood. Green Nether Wolf tribe? Isn't that one of the famous 8 Wastelands tribes? Could it be that you are a descendant of the noble Green Nether Wolf tribe, and Those people, just now, are also descendants of the 8 wastelands like you? Yun Sheng pretended not to understand. She had long suspected why the descendants of the 8 wastelands would gather in the Duqian blood world after so many years. There must be a conspiracy. This wolf tribe member called Qingya, although his abilities were not bad, but one look and one could tell that he was a simple-minded person. Compared to that He Lin Lin or Hu Ling Long, he was much more stupid. If she wanted to get to the bottom of this, she had to think of a way from him. Yin Sheng's prediction was right. Although Qingya's abilities were outstanding, he was after all a wolf tribe member. The number of times he interacted with the human tribe was too few, and he could not guess Yun Sheng's intentions. Yun Sheng's words of famous and noble made Qingya very happy. In addition, Yun Sheng was beautiful and her abilities were very ordinary. Qingya could not help but underestimate her. At least you have some eyesight. I am the son of the Green Nether Wolf tribe's chief, Qingya. Those people, just now, were the direct descendants of the other 7 tribes. Qingya was immensely proud of himself. So you're the young Chief Qingya. No wonder your abilities are outstanding. You entered the Dutian blood beast world to search for the Beast King Saraira. Could it be that the Beast King Saraira has some special function? Yun Sheng took advantage of Qingya feeling good about himself to pursue the victory. Yun Sheng unconsciously took a few steps closer. Her pair of beautiful eyes seemed to be able to hook souls as she looked at Qingya. She had just learned the corpse puppet technique. Qingya was also lucky to be in time to be Yun Sheng's first test subject. Qingya was completely unaware that he had already been controlled by Yun Sheng's corpse puppet technique. When he relaxed, he actually unknowingly revealed the secret of the descendants of the 8 barons gathering in the Dutian blood beast world. I didn't think that there would be people in the human race who know about the Beast King Saraira. That is, as long as we find the Beast King Saraira, we, the Bakra orcs, can restart the Dutian secret. Qingya was about to reveal the secret of the Beast King's Saraira. Qingya, you idiot. Qingya was about to say something when he suddenly shouted, Qingya, you idiot. Z of the D clan, after a wave of magic fluctuations, suddenly appeared in the magic array. Z was also looking around for the whereabouts of Yi Baiming and Yun Sheng. After feeling a wave of magic fluctuations, he rushed over. Coincidentally, he saw Qingya being bewitched by Yun Sheng. In a daze, he was about to reveal the secret. Qingya's cultivation level was very high. Yun Sheng had not learned the corpse puppet technique for long. Zi's shout immediately woke Qingya up. Realizing that he had almost revealed the secret of the tribe, Qingya was angry and resentful. Crafty human, I'm going to have my wolf cubs tear you into shreds. Chapter 761. Purple was much more astute and cautious than Qingya. He could not help but suspect that this female magician's strength was very ordinary. But why did she not show any fear when facing him and Qingya? She did not even have the slightest intention of running away. Z remembered clearly that this female sorcerer's behavior was very different from ordinary humans when they were by the Crimson Moon River. She didn't save anyone and was so cold that she didn't seem like a woman. Z didn't agree with killing Yun Sheng. He could see that Yun Sheng was very important to the man named Yi Baiming. That man had entered the Qilin tomb earlier and probably already knew the secret of the Beast King Saraira. He had to catch these 2 humans in one fell swoop. Otherwise, if the secret was leaked, the plan that the Bakra orcs had painstakingly planned for many years would be ruined. There was another reason why Z didn't want to kill Yun Sheng. He had to capture Yun Sheng alive. This was because when he and Green split up to look for Yun Sheng and Yi Baiming, Green suddenly called out to him before they left. Green, who had never begged anyone, begged him for the first time. If he met that woman named Yun Sheng, he had to keep her alive no matter what. Z remembered Green's expression at that time very clearly. There was a hint of pleading in his pain. Z didn't recognize that kind of Green. Z couldn't help but think of his teasing of Green earlier. He was afraid that his unintentional words at that time had become the truth. Z actually fell in love with this human woman. Z didn't like Yun Sheng. Or it could be said that Z hated women. He didn't understand what had gotten into Green. Why would he fall in love with a human girl? But in the face of his good friends pleading, if Z didn't do it or let someone hurt Yin Sheng, Green would definitely hate him for the rest of his life. In desperation, Z decided that he had to capture Yun Sheng alive no matter what. Your companions are not here. I advise you to surrender. Violet did not notice Yi Biming. Violet had a particularly deep impression of Yi Biming. Not only because Yi Biming made He Linlin look at him in a new light, Violet also felt that Yi Biming's aura and strength were very shocking. Whether he's here or not, I won't surrender. Are you trying to bully me with numbers? 2 men bullying a woman? Or are you saying that 2 beasts are bullying a woman? Yin Sheng looked relaxed and provoked them. Human, I forgive you for being a woman. I'll give you one more chance. Surrender yourself, or else. Z's handsome face was so angry that it changed color. He suppressed his anger, but before he could finish his threat, Yin Sheng suddenly smiled. Otherwise, you'll kill me? Ha! These words make me so flustered. What should I do? I've never liked being threatened. Those who threaten me, there's only one outcome, and that's... Yun Sheng deliberately kept them in suspense. What's that? If you have something to say it quickly. Qingyao was already a little impatient. Those who threaten me, there's only one outcome, and that's... No. Fine. Die. Yun Sheng had just finished speaking when she suddenly leaped up. A pair of magic wings appeared on her back. What? Z and Qingyao were both shocked. They originally thought that Yun Sheng was just a saint magician. Who knew that she was actually a sky magician? What surprised Z and Qingyao even more was yet to come. Just as Yun Sheng leaped up, a magic array appeared below her. Within the magic array, a black figure flashed out like a ghost. Magic beast, you're a summoner. After sensing a magical wave, Z realized that Yun Sheng was actually a summoner. That's... Qingyao was even more shocked. He pointed at a magic beast that had just come out of the summoning array as if he had seen a ghost. It was a black dog that was as big as a calf. Although it was called a dog, it was more ferocious than a wolf. What kind of magic beast was that? Even Qingyao and Z, who were born in the Bakra orcs, could not tell what level this black dog that was more ferocious than a wolf was. But one thing was certain. The level of this black dog was definitely not inferior to Qingyao. In other words, its bloodline was comparable to the Green Hell Wolf tribe. As soon as the black dog appeared, the nearby blood crystal wolves could not help but kneel on the ground. The situation was exactly the same as when they saw the Wolf King. That kind of power was comparable to Qingyao's. It's just a magic beast. Do you think that it can let you escape? Qingyao was still disdainful. Even if this magic beast level looked high, at most, it could only be a draw with him. Did this woman really think that his wolf pups and Z were dead? One had to know that Z was the most brilliant sorcerer in the D clan in the past 1,000 years. His attainments in light magic were comparable to those old sorcerers in the Boundless Land. With him around, Qingyao was not afraid even if he was seriously injured. Who said that I only have one magic beast? Yin Sheng said slowly. When Purple and Qingyao heard this, they did not understand what Yin Sheng meant. They also noticed that Yun Sheng's summoning array was still emitting magical waves. They saw that another magic beast had appeared. This time, the magic beast that appeared was much smaller than the black dog from before. But when Z and Qingyao saw the magic beast clearly, the corners of their mouths could not help but twitch. The Ant Clan. It was actually the Ant Clan. It was a magic beast the size of a puppy. The Ant Clan's body was densely covered with legs, looking like a centipede. Everyone said that the Ant Clan was the most insignificant existence among the magic beasts. But Z and Qingyao, who were descendants of the Bakra orcs, knew very well how terrifying the Ant Clan was among the magic beasts. Although the ants were small, they were sharp enough to cut through gold. The Ant Clan was the race with the largest population and the strongest reproductive ability among all the magic beasts. Their overall strength was not strong, but if anyone provoked a commander-level demonic ant, the consequences would not be as simple as dying without a complete corpse. The two of them had already recognized that the ant clan member that crawled out of Yun Sheng's magic array was a genuine commander-level demonic ant. This kind of demonic ant was very rare, even in the continent where the Eight Desolate tribe was located. It was a kind of ancient demonic ant. Human, don't think that you have to. Green Tooth held on with all his might. However, the tone of his voice was clearly lacking in confidence. Wait, there seems to be another magic beast. Even Z, who was known as the Calm Emperor, was tongue-tied and could not speak clearly, because he was speechless when he realized that Yun Sheng's summoning array still showed no signs of disappearing. There was another burst of magical light shining in the magic array. This time, it was a delicate figure that appeared. A girl of 13 or 14 years old jumped out of the magic array. The girl had a head of golden hair, and her body was overflowing with strong elements of the water spirit. Continue to update. Chapter 762. As soon as the golden-haired elf girl came out, she shouted at Yun Sheng proudly, "Master, you're biased. You always let other little beasts come out and show their faces. Sister Night Demon promised me that this time, no matter what, it has to be my turn to appear." Yun Sheng had a headache. She originally planned to summon the Night Demon Queen and end the battle quickly. Who knew that the little elf queen who wanted to show off would come out and interfere? Purple and Green Tooth were completely speechless. This was too heaven-defying. Since when could the elf race also be controlled by a summoner? Furthermore, that elven girl was clearly a king-level existence among the elves. Commander level, and king level. All of them were at the commander level. What was going on? In this day and age, were high-level magical beasts all rotten cabbages? There were so many of them that they could be found all over the streets. They watched as the summoned beasts appeared one by one, and each of them was even more powerful. Purple and Green Tooth's eyeballs were about to pop out of their sockets. At this moment, there was only one thought in their minds. This world was too mysterious. Who exactly are you? Why do you have so many magical beasts? Purple squeezed out a complete sentence with great difficulty. The shock in his heart could no longer be described with words. A summoner, even the high priest in the tribe, could not summon so many magical beasts at once. However, Yun Sheng could. Purple could not help but be in awe. Could it be that the summoners in the boundless world had developed to such a terrifying extent in the past 5,000 years? Yun Sheng was only a few years old, but her magical beasts were undoubtedly top-notch existences. Yun Sheng of Zhou State. Yun Sheng smiled, and the two dimples at the corner of her mouth were unusually vivid. The moment the smile appeared, Yun Sheng's face was filled with murderous intent. With a thought, several magical beasts leaped up. It wasn't that they hadn't seen summoners before. They had seen many summoners who were of a higher level than Yun Sheng, but none of them could summon several magical beasts at once like Yun Sheng did. Xiao He was the first to activate its Devour the Heavens combat skill. It raised its head and let out a terrifying howl. In an instant, the world lost its color, and the entire sky darkened. Amidst the darkness, the centipede ant general had already launched its attack. It summoned a swarm of ants to surround the wolf pack while viciously spraying balls of venom at Green Fawn. As the wolf clan's young patriarch, Qingya had always been the one who forced others to stomp their feet. When had it ever been like today, being forced to jump around on the ground by some ants? But he couldn't do anything about it, because the little elven queen who loved to see the world plunged into chaos had also joined the battle in the air. She danced lightly in the air and kept shooting ice spells at Green Fong and the wolves behind him. Once hit by the ice spells, the blood crystal wolf's body stiffened and turned into an ice sculpture. Xiao He pounced, and the ice sculpture was torn into pieces. Although Green Fong was agile, but he couldn't resist the entanglement of so many magical beasts. In a moment of carelessness, he was shot in the arm by the little queen. The blood vessels in his arm immediately coagulated, and more than half of it was frozen. What Green Fong couldn't stand the most was that as a summoner, Yun Sheng was actually calmly flying in the air at this moment. She didn't even use magic and just moved her lips at the slightest provocation. Xiao Hei bite his but, little queen, him a little more accurately. It's best to freeze his hooks so that he can't do it. And General, use your venom to spray him. Let him injure a few elite camp students. Damn, Green Fong was so angry that he almost vomited blood and fell to the ground. His doqi also dissipated a lot. Green Fong, calm your mind and don't be impetuous. Although Purple was intimidated by Yun Sheng's magical beasts, he quickly regained his composure. He began to chant, and a holy light appeared on his body. A light element healing magic fell on Green Fong's arm, and the ice immediately receded. Even the previous wound was healed. Green Fong only felt that his mind was clear and all the depression and irritation that had long been swept away. He roared, and the Do Chi that had already dissipated condensed again. He swept away Xiao Hei with his foot. Only then did Yun Sheng stop joking around. Purple's light magic seemed to be almost the same as Xiao Wenxiu's. No wonder it was said that whenever there was a light magician on the battlefield, the first thing to do was to obliterate the light magician. It's just that Purple of the D clan was obviously different from those weak light magicians on the continent. He obviously also noticed Yun Sheng's intention. Although he was not good at attacking, he was outstanding in concealment. Yun Sheng ordered him to surround and attack several times, but he easily evaded. Yun Sheng, I've changed my mind. No matter who you are, you must die today. Purple realized how wrong his previous understanding was. He thought that only people like Yi Baiming could be a match for the descendants of the Eight Desolates. But now it seemed that this young girl, named Yun Sheng, was also not to be underestimated. She was cunning and good at concealment. If this person continued to grow stronger, one day she would become one of the most terrifying beings on the boundless continent. He had to take advantage of the fact that she had yet to fully mature, or in other words, her magical beast had yet to mature, and kill her first. Green, I'm sorry. This time, even if you want to hate me, I will kill this human girl. Purple raised his magic scepter, and a ball of light appeared in his body. Yun Sheng noticed that a Saraira had appeared on his chest. Under the effect of the Saraira, Purple's body was gradually changing. Green Tooth watched from the side and was also shocked. He did not expect Purple to have the intention to kill this human girl, to the extent that he did not hesitate to use the power of Lord D. Saraira to kill her. Purple Saraira was the Saraira he found when he entered the Tomb of Truth. Under the effect of Lord D. Saraira, Purple transformed into his original form. It was a dazzling unicorn covered in golden fur. Its limbs were strong and powerful, and its body was tall. Under the light of the Saraira, Purple's body was still changing. Gradually, the golden fur on its body turned red. Red blood unicorn. Yun Sheng's eyebrows twitched. She suddenly realized that the D clan of the Bakra orcs was a unicorn clan. Once Violet's transformation was complete, she would transform into the Unicorn of Slaughter, the Scarlet Blood Sovereign King. Yun Sheng had experienced the power of the Red Blood Unicorn. Moreover, Purple strength was originally above the Red Blood Unicorn. It seems that we can only fight to the death. Yun Sheng was awe-inspiring. A red and blue magic fluctuation was brewing in her hand, and the profound lightning vortex was slowly forming. At this critical moment, a roar like that of a trapped beast came from the direction of the Duqian blood print. That was... Yun Sheng's heart skipped a beat. Tonight, I'll write and publish a chapter. I've done my best. Everyone's rewards and monthly votes, muada da. Chapter 763. Yun Sheng was 100% sure that it was Yi Baiming's voice. Even though they were separated by hundreds of miles, Yun Sheng immediately sensed that something was wrong with Yi Baiming. Why did his voice sound so sorrowful and upset? Yun Sheng's emotions were unsettled. She wanted to immediately contact Yi Baiming, but Yi Baiming, who had already sunk into a frenzied state, could not sense Yun Sheng's consciousness at all. Her heart was in a mess. Purple, who was in the midst of transforming, also stopped. He also heard that proud and aloof voice that carried despair. At the same time, the D-King's relic in his hand also became restless. In Qingya's storage belt, the Qingming relic also emitted an uneasy cry. The uncontrollable sense of uneasiness in Yun Sheng's heart grew stronger and stronger. At this moment, Yun Sheng's heart was no longer filled with killing intent or scheming. Her ears were only echoing with Yi Baiming's roar. Just a moment ago, Yun Sheng felt an unprecedented sadness and despair from the unicorn's horn. That sadness and despair came precisely from Yi Baiming. Almost unconsciously, Yun Sheng immediately activated the binding spell and disappeared. Purple returned to his human form. He looked at the magical wave produced when Yun Sheng left with a strange expression. Qingya did not sense it, but Purple did. What Yun Sheng used just now was actually the D clan's legendary binding spell. Because she had the light unicorn's horn, if Yun Sheng and Yi Baiming encountered any danger, the light unicorn's horn would send out a warning. Her few summoned beasts also disappeared. F***CK, who said that the younger generation of the Boundless Continent is all trash. Those old fellows from the beast god Altar, are their eyes muddled by cow shit? I don't want to fight with that female summoner ever again. She's too perverted. Greentooth could not help but curse. Originally, he thought that it would be a little sheep that he could pinch and flatten at will. Who would have thought that it would be a tigress in sheep's clothing? She was 100 times more ferocious than the Wolf King. The surroundings were filled with wolf bones that had been gnawed clean by the centipede ants. Not even a complete corpse was left behind. Qingya had never encountered such a tragic situation before. Greentooth's situation was also very bad. He was in a sorry state. The situation isn't good. A human expert has entered the Dutian bloodprint. I'm afraid our plan this time is going to be exposed. Quickly go and meet up with them. I'll be there in a moment. Zishan stared in the direction of the Dutian bloodprint. Both of them could feel many powerful auras entering the Dutian blood beast world. Qingya's expression wasn't too good either. Although the number of powerhouses in the human race had dwindled in recent years, there were still some exceptional powerhouses that they couldn't match up to now. Before leaving, the great god Palace had warned them not to alarm the human race no matter what, and to quickly find the Beast King Sarira. However, Qingya and Hu Linglong had disobeyed the great god Palace and insisted on teaching the human race a lesson. In the end, they had caused such a huge mess. After Zishan's warning, she disappeared. The vexed Qingya also calmed down. He raised his arm and called for the blood crystal wolves that hadn't died yet to follow him. They rushed in the direction of the Dutian bloodprint. The ground was littered with wolf bones and rivers of blood. At this time, the Dutian blood realm was like hell on earth. Even the most ferocious blood cloud beasts didn't dare to enter this area. After Qingya and Zishan had left, not far away, an ordinary-looking rock suddenly moved. It slowly transformed into a human shape, into Feng Tian's appearance. Feng Tian's face was pale. Looking at the scene of devastation, he was extremely shocked. Feng Tian, Chunlian and Lu Tong Tian didn't get along. In a moment of anger, he acted alone. Originally, Feng Tian was still full of ambition. He thought that even if he had to rely on himself, it was completely possible to rescue the hostages. Who knew that not only did he not find the hostages' whereabouts, but he also got lost in the blood beast realm. 24 hours passed in a flash. Just when Feng Tian thought that he had no choice but to give up and leave this place, there was a strange movement in front of him. Feng Tian quietly used the earth element magic that he had just learned in the magic forest to conceal himself. This kind of magic could turn a person's body into a stone. Moreover, the person's aura would also disappear without a trace. Back then, Feng Tian also wanted to teach Chunlian a lesson, so he randomly chose a magic. He didn't expect that it would come in handy this time. He saw Yun Sheng suddenly climb out from the ground. She had just appeared when Qingya from the Green Nether Wolf tribe discovered her. Feng Tian didn't make a move to help Yun Sheng. He planned to hide at the side and wait for the two to fight to the death. Then, he would make a move to kill Yun Sheng and capture Qingya. At that time, all the credit would belong to him. He could also take the opportunity to eliminate Yunsheng. Feng Tian was certain that Yunsheng absolutely could not be Qingya's match. Who knew that at the last moment, Yunsheng would transform into a summoner and summon many commander-level magical beasts that made Feng Tian tremble with fear. It was only today that Feng Tian understood the meaning of Yi Baiming's warning when he was in the Heaven's Wings arena. Yunsheng was the biggest obstacle to him becoming the #1 person in the continent's elite camp. After entering the magic elite camp for so long, everyone, including Feng Tian, had always thought that Yunsheng was only a magician proficient in medical skills. Who knew that she was also a powerful summoner? The battle just now was still vivid in his mind. The magical beasts that Yunsheng summoned were something that even Qingya and the others couldn't handle, let alone Feng Tian. He had always mocked Yunsheng for being a good-for-nothing. He didn't expect that this good-for-nothing would have such terrifying strength. What genius! What kind of genius was Feng Tian? In front of Yunsheng, he was not even a speck of dust. Feng Tian felt very desperate. He stood there in a daze, unable to move. His complacency, his arrogance, all of it had been polished away. Time passed little by little. There was not much time left before the 24-hour. As the wind blew, Feng Tian noticed that the place where Yunsheng had suddenly appeared earlier was a dark cave. Earlier, Zi and Qingya hadn't paid attention to that cave. Feng Tian thought for a moment, then jumped into the black hole and crawled forward. After crawling for more than half an hour, Feng Tian felt his eyes light up. In front of him, he was already in an unfamiliar tomb. After Feng Tian's eyes adapted to the light, he looked around, and his gaze fell on the human-shaped statue at the side. He was shocked and suddenly remembered a reminder that the Skywing City Lord had given him when he was in Skywing City. Enter the core area of the Dutian world and open the Beast King's tomb. As long as you absorb the magic blood crystal in the Beast King's tomb, you will become an unparalleled super magician. Feng Tian was ecstatic. He suddenly understood that he must have entered a certain Beast King's tomb. Magic blood crystal. He had to find the location of the magic blood crystal as soon as possible. Chapter 764. About a few hours ago, just as Yunsheng left the tomb of Celestial Fox, the second elder unexpectedly received news from the students sent by Yunsheng. He learned that the Duqian blood world had changed, and several powerful descendants of the Ba Huang had appeared in the core area of the blood world. After the second elder learned that the situation was not good, he sent a second request for reinforcements to the elite camp. Coincidentally, the Ghost Prison's first elder was worried about Yi Baiming, who had entered the blood beast world to find blood crystals, so he led a group of mentors and magicians to come. Before the Ghost Prison's first elder arrived, the second elder of the elite camp had already arrived at the Crimson Moon River. The people sent by Yunsheng had already explained that the two team leaders, Lan and Lu Tongtian, were ambushed by the descendants of the Ba Huang and were seriously injured and needed treatment. Not long after the second elder's arrival, the injured Lan, Lu Tongtian, and the others, under the escort of Qi and several other students, also found the second elder. After knowing the whole story, the second elder harshly reprimanded Lu Tongtian and Blue. As the leaders of the magic elite camp, the two of them were actually fighting over personal feelings at a time like this. This made the second elder very disappointed. After the second elder's treatment, Lan and Lu Tongtian's injuries were no longer serious. Seeing that they were all right, Qi wanted to enter the middle area of the blood beast world to find Yunsheng, but was stopped by the second elder. The 24-hour was about to pass. Whether it was Cheng Lianer or Yunsheng, according to the agreement, should have withdrawn. There was still no movement in the blood beast world. At this moment, the great elder of the Ghost Prison rushed over with several mentors of the Continental Magic Elite Camp. Seeing the first elder of the Ghost Prison, the second elder's anxious face had a touch of surprise. With the Ghost Prison around, the crisis this time would most likely be resolved. What's the situation? The first elder of the ghost prison met Tung Lei Gang on the way here and had already learned some news from him. Who would have thought that even the two great elders of the magic elite camp would not be able to resolve this crisis? After the abnormal movements in the Dutian blood world, the relay station had issued an announcement that it was forbidden to enter the blood world again. They had also organized a search and rescue team to find those who were still outside the blood world. Tung Lei Gang and the others were still searching for the missing disciples of the elite martial artist camp. As for Yi Baiming, Tung Lei Gang said that he had never seen him. The ghost prison's great elder understood that Yi Baiming must have entered the Dutian blood world by himself, and it was even possible that he had already encountered the descendants of the Eight Desolates. The situation is not good. Earlier, the fourth elder and a few of my students had already entered, but they were ambushed. The captains of the two teams were injured and sent out. The fourth elder hasn't come out yet, and the whereabouts of the other students are still unknown. The second elder looked at the hour. It had already been 24 hours. There was no news of Yin Sheng, Chan Liener, and the others. Even the fourth elder had not returned. This made the second elder even more worried, who knew that as soon as the second elder's voice fell, a five-colored cloud flashed in the sky. Not good. It's that strange five-colored cloud again. It's that strange cloud that took away a lot of people earlier. The second elder was alert. When the ghost prison's great elder heard this, he also looked alert, who knew that this time, after the five-colored cloud rushed out, it did not attack again. On the contrary, a human voice came from above. Second elder, don't do it, it's one of us. The two elders then knew that this five-colored cloud turned out to be an empty ship. The five-colored empty ship slowly landed, and some fox guards came down from it. However, they looked dull and could not distinguish between friend and foe. As soon as they got off the empty ship, they were subdued by the students. Those students who had been kidnapped for a few days came down and told the whole story to the two elders. After listening, the ghost prison's great elder could not help but praise the courage of the female magician who sneaked into the empty ship. The second elder was frightened. Wasn't Yin Sheng's guts a little too big? When Lan heard it from the side, she could not help but be shocked. She secretly thought that in the entire continent's magic elite camp, only Yin Sheng dared to do this. In that case, even she only dared to ask for help from the camp. Yin Sheng, with her cultivation, dared to only take 2 students to save people. This Yin Sheng was too reckless, but at least she succeeded in saving dozens of students, and her merits outweighed her mistakes. The second elder counted and found that only 1 student had his magic soul sucked away. The others were not injured, but they were a little frightened. After comforting them, they felt a little relieved. Along the way, did you see the fourth elder? The second elder asked again. Those students said that they did not see him. On the other hand, the student that Yun Sheng had sent back to report suddenly said, reporting to second elder, Captain Yun had sent 2 people to deliver the message earlier. There was also another student who went to find fourth elder. Hearing the student's explanation, the second elder immediately understood what was going on. He understood the fourth elder's temper. He must be worried that the descendants of the 8 wastelands would do something to the Dutian blood seal. He must have gone to check the Dutian blood seal first. At this time, Gufeng and Qi, who had been waiting for a long time, did not see Yin Sheng. They were a little anxious. By the way, where is Yin Sheng? As soon as the empty ship landed, the guards of the Celestial Fox people were controlled, but they did not see Yin Sheng. Where is Yin Sheng? She did not see Yin Sheng on the empty ship. A few of the kidnapped students told Qi that not long after the empty ship took off, the Celestial Fox people saw through it. Yin Sheng and 2 other students got off the ship to stop the enemy. When they heard that there were 7 of them, and that all of them were magicians of sky rank or above, Gufeng and Qi's hearts sank. They understood that under such circumstances, Yin Sheng and the other 2 students were most likely dead. Second elder, take care of these students who were just rescued. I will lead a few teachers into the Dutian blood beast world. When we just arrived, we felt strange movements in the direction of the Dutian blood seal. It is very likely that the Bakra Orc's target is the Duqian blood seal. The ghost prison's first elder was also selfish. He did not care about the lives of the students of the mainland's magic elite camp, but his precious disciple Yi Baiming was now in the Duqian blood seal. The ghost prison's first elder hoped that Yi Baiming would not encounter any descendants of the Eight Wastelands. Otherwise, if that kid was agitated and turned into a beast, it would be troublesome. Ghost prison's first elder, "I will go with you," she volunteered. "I will go with you too," Gu Feng also volunteered. They were all very worried about Yin Sheng's safety. In the end, the ghost prison's first elder weighed the pros and cons. He saw that Qi's cultivation was not bad, so he was only willing to take Qi and a few teachers. They anxiously rushed to the core area of the Duqian blood beast world. You're tuning in to the Romance Rendezvous YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.